tonight's MMA podcast, we will be breaking down Shogun versus Sonnen. It was an amazing card. We got like 9 fights to talk about on that card. We also have 2 weeks worth of MMA news, as we didn't have a episode last week. No cards this coming weekend, but next week's going to be plenty busy, so we got a lot of MMA to talk about. Fight announcements, Bellator, UFC, we got it all. Thanks for tuning in. Let's do this shit. That's right, it is August 21st. It is episode 56 of the MMA Podcast, and we are bringing it to you live on Ustream. You can also catch us on iTunes, on YouTube. Simply search the MMA Podcast, and you shouldn't have much of a problem. If you do, you always can visit themmapodcast.com, click the links at the top, or just follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. We are really glad to be bringing you some MMA goodness. Once again, it's been a couple weeks. We took last week off, like I mentioned before, for a few different reasons. Most of us were either in Boston or sick. I think Chris was out trying to get STDs from stray cats. It was not really the week to do it. I had literally just moved into my apartment like 2 days prior. So we took a week off, but we're back. We're fucking ready to break shit down. But before we do that, first and foremost, we got to introduce the beautiful motherfuckers on the podcast. And I don't mean that. I'm not talking just jokes. These are really 4 beautiful men. 4 men that I would like, if I was a lot older, to court my daughter, because they're straight shooters, goddammit. And first and foremost, I'm gonna lead off with the 2 men who actually were at the Boston card. We got Ross and Alan. Ross, where do we find you on the tweeters?
You can find me on the tweeters at Ross Finkelstein, E before the L.
And we got the Westland Eagle, Alan Hamilton, Officer Alan Hamilton. What's going on with you, buddy?
Nothing. Glad to be here, guys. And like you said, you can catch me on Twitter, Westland Eagle, AH.
And thinking about it, I wanna get you your own segment. Maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but eventually, we have Yao talking about his training log. Ramses has his fight tips. Ross is bringing the Jew to you. I'm thinking about you doing a segment. In the background music is like the cops music, bad boys, and you just talk about the craziest call you went on the last week. I think that would be pretty goddamn enjoyable. We also have Yao the Truth, who is up in the Northeast area, but he wasn't able to make it to Sonnen Shogun, not because he's not a huge fan, but you know what, he had a belt himself he had to go out and get, and we will get into that on Yao's segment in actually a few minutes. That's going to be the first segment we do. But Yao, where do we find you? What is the goddamn truth?
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Yao_the_truth, YAO_the_truth.
And of course, I would be remiss to forget one of the most dapper gentlemen I have ever encountered. It's Ramses. It's the word on the street. What's the fucking word on the street, brother?
I haven't been crying. I haven't stopped crying since Sonnen won on Saturday. Today I was wearing my Team Sonnen shirt, the black one, the t-shirt. I was just walking down the streets of Austin. I see a family of 6. They see me in my shirt. They immediately burst into tears. We all just celebrate right then and there in the streets. The wife, the husband, the kids, everybody. I pull out the bottle of wine I got. We all just had a good time. That's what's happening on the streets of Austin. Follow me on Twitter, The Aunt Jimmy Show.
Sort of like a lot of people hung American flags after September 11th. I saw a lot of American flags go up after last Saturday's fight. I saw a lot of American flags. I saw a lot of Sonnen shirts, posters, memorabilia, assorted memorabilia. I think the whole country is pumped up about this win, and we will get to it. UFC Fight Night 26. It was this past Saturday. I guess let's get straight into that shit. Also, first and foremost, I did want to make a little note. You will notice that there was a different intro song, and that's only going to be a one-time thing. But actually, what I wanted to get to, usually every week we have an order, and I'm going to be frank, ladies and gentlemen, doing that same order where we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 every single time. I was getting bored myself, so we're switching up the way we're doing things. It's going to be a free form. If someone wants to jump in, they feel real passionate about something, they can. They don't give a shit. They don't even need to talk during that topic. But we're going to be doing more of a free form thing. So if we do step on our toes some, if we're interrupting each other, if there are long pauses, I'll try and edit those out. But we do apologize, and we will try and get smoother and smoother as we go along. Let's get into it. UFC Fight Night 26 at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. The total gate was 1.5 million. About 12,500 people were there. It did excellently on views. I think 1.7 million people watched it. It was the debut sporting event on Fox Sports 1. Literally, the channel came into existence just hours before the Shogun Sonnen fight. So it was that was really nice to see good ratings. But let's start off with the Facebook fights, which we aren't even going to talk about. The first 4 fights. I mean, we could talk about every fight, but Jesus Christ, there's 9 fights we're going to talk about after that. So let's just breeze through the first 4. James Vick defeating Ramsey Nijem via submission, guillotine choke, less than a minute into the very first round. It was actually James Vick's first UFC fight. He was KO'd in the semifinals of that Tough Live season almost a year ago, and was going to face Vince Pichel at the finals, but they both were pulled from the card, and Vick hadn't fought in the UFC, so it was nice to see Vick get a win finally in his UFC debut. You had OSP defeating Cody Donovan, which I wasn't very happy about, because Donovan's an Irishman from Denver like me, and OSP went to the University of Tennessee, where everybody butt-fucks their cousin. We also saw Manvel Gamburian defeat Cole Miller via unanimous decision in a fight that was somewhat marred by controversy. Cole Miller hit Gamburian apparently in the back of the head. We honestly don't know if Manny was faking it or whether he was really hurting. I mean, he was blinking his eyes and holding the back of his head. So either way, the ref should have stopped it, because that was fucked up. But Gamburian takes the unanimous decision in a fight where we saw more camera shots of Ronda Rousey than either fighter. And then in the initial fight on Fox Sports 1, the first MMA fight ever on Fox Sports 1, we saw Diego Brandao defeat Daniel Pineda via unanimous decision. Neither guy looked like the most technical fighter in the world. It was somewhat of a brawl, but Brandao takes it via the judge's nod, 2-1 as far as rounds go. And that brings us to the first fight I want to talk about. Steven Siler versus Mike Brown, winning another fight that was ended less than a minute. Actually, 3 fights on the card were finished in under a minute, which might be a record. I don't know. It's definitely up there. You don't normally see that. But Siler defeating Mike Brown. Brown did contest the decision afterwards with the referee, but to no avail. I think most people agreed with the stoppage. Steven Siler looks really good. He's pretty young. I believe he's like 26, 25, early 20s. And after losing to Darren Elkins at UFC 154, he's put together a couple impressive victories against Kurt Hollabaugh and Mike Brown. This was Siler's first KO or TKO in the UFC, which was nice to see. What did you guys think about the fight?
I'll go first. It was unexpected, let's put it that way. Siler's got some really good stand-up in boxing. I got to witness his fight against Kurt Hollabaugh as well in the first row, great seats, and was able to watch a, almost fight of the night performance in that fight. So, I expected a whole lot from this fight. I didn't know he was going to come out and knock Mike Brown out, but as we've seen in Mike Brown's last couple of fights, his chin is very suspect. But Steven Siler looked great. You know, he's, like I say, he's got really good stand-up. He prefers to stand up than grapple on the ground. And he's on a roll. He's only lost 3 out of, like, his last, 15 fights. So, I mean, he didn't do too well. I know he started off his MMA career like 5-7, and now he's 23-10. So, I think he's a real deal.
Yeah, I have to. I gotta agree with Alan there. I think Siler is I think he's the most underrated guy right now in the featherweight division. The guy in the UFC, he's 5-1 now. He's finished 2 of those fights, but I mean, knocking out a tough, crafty veteran in Mike Brown. We're talking about a guy who, at one point, was the WEC featherweight champion and knocked out Uriah Faber and beat the shit out of him in a rematch. So it's an impressive win. His only loss, Siler, is to Elkins, and who knows how he was doing in that fight. He may have been sick. I personally believe he was sick. But look at Darren Elkins. Look at what Darren Elkins has done. He's gone on in this division, and he was on a 5-fight winning streak. Got stopped by Chad Mendes, but that's Chad Mendes. Steven Siler's knockout was beautiful. This guy deserves someone in the top 10, in my opinion. Someone like an Eric Koch or something like that.
Ramses, did you have something you were going to add in there?
Nah, man, this fucking fight, I don't even remember watching it, as usual, man. Yeah, I don't even know when I came into this card, really. I was cooking up some steaks that weekend. It was delicious, people. Delicious.
What kind of steak? What sort of cut was it?
I went with the T-bone, and then I went with the New York strip, dude. This fucking thing, man. The butcher, man. He told me this thing had been dead maybe 2 hours tops. It was so delicious, man. I could taste its soul leaving the body.
Did you cook it medium rare?
Exactly, medium rare. That is actually the best way, because I'm paranoid about undercooking it, so I always singe it a little bit. It's good times. These fights, I don't remember them.
Word. And Yao, did you have anything to add before we move on?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Ross. Siler defeating a veteran like Mike Brown is pretty good, because he's young. It's like, experience versus youth. So I like that a lot, when the younger guys can go in and beat the older guys. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, if you don't put a battery in that motherfucking smoke detector, I'm going to fly from Denver, Colorado to Queens, New York, and I'm going to put a battery in that smoke detector for you, you son of a bitch. All right, let's move on to a guy a little more popular currently than Steven Siler, even though I do think Siler is the real deal. Like Alan alluded to, he's 17-3 in his last 20 fights, which is an incredibly impressive mark. Conor McGregor defeating Max Holloway via unanimous decision in a fight where most of us wanted to see Conor get the finish. In his UFC debut, he just smashed Marcus Brimage. Everybody, Dana White and Rogan, are saying this guy has gotten more hype on him, the most hype on him since Brock Lesnar, which I kind of thought it was really funny. Because, as Conor's walkout is going on, I think Rogan spent like a quarter of Conor's walkout talking about Brock Lesnar, like, he's a beast of a man, he's 300 pounds, he's an absolute freak. I was like, yo, Joe, stop talking about Brock, dude. This is Conor's walkout, what the hell? But, yeah, Conor does have a lot of hype behind him. He didn't finish the fight, but I think that's for 2 reasons. One, he popped his knee out in the second round, apparently, in what turned out to be an LCL sprain, so he shouldn't be on the rack for too long. And Max Holloway is a motherfucker. This is a guy who's going to be in the UFC for a long time. He's a youngish guy. I'm not sure how old exactly he is, but I'm pulling that shit up right now. Yeah, 21. The dude was born in the fucking 90s. And yeah, he has lost his last 2 fights, but they were one was a split decision loss to Dennis Bermudez that could have gone either way, and Bermudez is a great fighter. And the unanimous decision to Conor McGregor. Dude's got an iron chin. He's never been KO'd or TKO'd, and it showed. Conor tried, definitely dominated the fight. He won the judges' scorecard 30-27, 30-27, 30-26, which we saw a lot of 10-8 cards with the judges for some reason, which we will get to later on, especially in the 30-25 we saw in the Johnson-Lauzon fight. But Conor takes the judges' nod, as most of us thought he should have. It's frustrating, and he himself was very frustrated, saying he felt more like he lost than he won, which you gotta love that sort of mentality in a fighter. But yeah, Conor now moving his way slowly up. He definitely would have just rocketed up if he would have finished Holloway quickly, but he's slowly creeping up. I do eventually want to talk about who Conor fights next, but what did you guys think of the fight, Ross?
Let me be the first to speak up here, all right?
Damn, Ross called downs on the fucking chat, but you're stepping in like goddamn Darrell Rivas getting the interception.
What am I doing? What am I gonna do? Read chat and fucking what? What is this? I got 4 computer screens up in front of me. All right,
so it should be easier.
I on the other side of the world on me. All right, I just want to say my quick. I'll keep it under a minute, then I'll turn it over to the Jew. I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you, but. What I just want to point out to the audience, we owe them some fucking honesty. What Jake just tried to do was polish shit. You can't polish shit. All right, that Conor McGregor fight was dog fuck. All right, it was a pile of piss. It was a boring ass fight. It went to a decision. Nobody did anything except they all got broken in half somehow, throwing bullshit at each other. I'm not on the Conor hype train. Anybody that keeps saying, oh man, he's the greatest fighter, he won this decision, against Max Holloway. I love Max Holloway, but enough with the hype. You're trying to push it too far. And I have to say, just shut up already, for fuck's sake. Go, Ross.
I have to completely disagree with everything he just said. I think Conor McGregor is the real deal. I think he is a future title contender. He will fight for a UFC belt at some point within the next year. Just because you don't finish a fight doesn't mean it's not impressive. He dominated Max Holloway in every area of the game. He displayed a diverse striking repertoire, great kicks. He displayed a lot of heart with his knee popping out. He displayed a pretty damn good grappling game, able to take him down 4 out of 5 times. So he looked very good in this fight. Just because he doesn't get a finish, it's not going to take away from him. I think in his next fight, he's going to display he's going to put on a better performance, period. And you'll see. He will prove you all wrong. So you all need to just shut up for fuck's sake.
Shut up for fuck's sake.
More shit polishing, but all right. Who else?
I gotta agree with Ramses. All right.
Shocker.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't know who Conor McGregor was until he was put on this Fox Sports 1 card. There's a lot of hype around him. I don't know where it's coming from. Then I looked at his fight against Marcus Brimage, and okay, he knocked out Marcus Brimage. Wow, that's impressive. But that was a very good, display of technique and, hard work that he put in to win that fight. Max Holloway is not easy to beat. These are all tough matches, but he did all right.
He did. Jesus Christ, son. Max Holloway is like I didn't really get it because Ramses was talking up his boy Max Holloway up and down the court before the fight, and I actually gained a lot of respect for Max. Max, you can't knock out Max. Look at Max's face after the fight. Max's face was torn up to fucking shreds. It doesn't matter if he broke his foot. That's completely
he his footwork, man.
That is completely aside from the conversation.
Otherwise,
Max got his bell rung. Oh yeah, and Conor didn't pop his knee out. All I'm saying is Max Holloway is a motherfucker. He is game for sure. But I think Conor was definitely the dominant fighter, and also a preface. I did apologize in advance for us walking all over each other. I do apologize in advance for all the crazy things that Ramses is going to say on this, on past and on future podcasts, because I love the man to death. I don't know, like I said before, the man is dapper, but sometimes when he's given his MMA opinion, I just got to scratch my head and go, what the fuck is this man talking about? What are they putting in the weed over there in fucking Austin? Are they lacing it with GHB, LSD, PCP, USB,
GSP, everything, man.
GSP,
you come out
who
here, the
knows?
OSP, we got it all. Come down and try it out. I'll host anytime.
Little bit of TLC. Who the fuck knows? All right,
I get the TRT on the THC. I just sprinkle it all in.
Sprinkle it in, son. Before we move on to the Mayday fight, which I would call garbage just to piss you off, Ramses, but that also was a great fight. Mayday looking impressive. Who next for Conor McGregor? Because he wasn't able to put away Max Holloway. Even with that fact, a lot of people want to see him get a top guy next, a top 10 guy. My friend Jay Jeans and I were talking during the fight. I think a fight between him and Nick Lentz would be extremely entertaining. Lentz is a motherfucking gamer. Obviously, so is Conor. And that really could be a fight where either guy could fucking win. I mean, I am really on the Conor hype train, but Lentz is a motherfucker. Who next for Conor McGregor, Ross?
Conor said that he wants to fight Diego Brandao. And Diego Brandao came out today and said, I want to fight Conor McGregor. So there you go. We got a fight.
There you go.
That's a fight I want to see. It's violence guaranteed. And I think Conor wins it.
That's right.
UFC 168, Conor McGregor, Diego Brandao. Look out for that shit.
Yeah, this fucking isn't going to be one of those light heavyweight snoozers like Rashad, Hendo, Machida versus anybody. Holy shit. Yeah, anyone else have a thought on who Conor Notorious McGregor should fight next? Well, I may or may not take a rip out of a water bong containing marijuana.
I'll just add that I don't believe that Conor McGregor is who you think he is. All right, he's an over-promoted, just hype man. That's all he is. I'm sure he's a funny guy, and I'm sure he's a great guy to know. I would love to smoke weed with him and have a drink or two. But the fighting-wise, I'm not believing it yet. His opponents, bunch of tomato cans, soup cans. Ridiculous. Anybody else? Conor McGregor. I don't believe it yet. I don't believe him. His fucking knee exploding. Max Holloway breaks his foot. Unfortunately, can't knock this bum out nice. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting, according to Ramses. I do want to hear from you, Alan. But really quick, Ross, would you be willing to tell a quick story? I think you told it last night on the Word on the Street, but I think it bears repeating for our special needs fans who listen to our show but somehow have not found Word on the Street yet. Which, if you listen to this show and you don't listen to Word on the Street, let me just say, stop listening to my show and listen to Word on the Street. That shit is gold. And shit, listen to both, honestly, because they are different things. Ramses will fucking talk about anything under the sun. Here, I kind of like to keep it MMA centric. But if you haven't checked it out, it's the Word on the Street. Follow him on Twitter at the Aunt Jimmy Show. It's every Tuesday and Thursday, and you can follow his Twitter, and he will tweet about the upcoming times and shit. Ross, tell us about your experience with Conor McGregor in Boston last weekend.
Yes, I shall. After the fights, myself, my brother, who is in Ohio right now, Alan, and his brother Hunter, Hero Shinwoo on Twitter, we
shout out Shinwoo.
We were all back at the Fighter Hotel, just waiting for Chael to get back, because Chael was on the same floor, and Conor McGregor, who's staying a door down from Alan and Hunter, he comes out of his room, clearly a little tipsy, and he's just dressed to the nines. He's got his 3-piece on. He's with his girlfriend, and they're going back and forth about something. They're arguing, and they're walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden you just hear Conor go, "Shut up, for fuck's sake," in his Irish accent. It was glorious and a magical moment. And then he stops at the room. The door is opened. He peers into the room for a second with that like drunken stare, and then just keeps walking.
Honestly,
and that is the Conor McGregor story.
After hearing that story, I kind of feel like if I go to the next Conor McGregor fight, somehow stay in the fighter hotel and luck out into getting a room on his floor, if I just left the door open and got a bottle of Jameson, some beers, I don't know if they're, what beers Conor likes, but if I just got a bunch of beers and like a thing of whiskey and just left it out there, left the door propped, I could probably party with Conor. And any fans out there, if you have the means, stay at the Fighter Hotel during the next McGregor fight. Set a little trap, if you will, and you'll have the opportunity to party with one of the biggest up-and-coming names in the fucking promotion. Alan and Yao, did you have any thoughts on who Conor gets next?
Well, I did, and that all got crushed today when I got the news of Korean Zombie being out for another year, most likely due to injury.
2 surgeries.
I think that would be a fucking awesome matchup, especially, to build Conor McGregor's name and for, Zombie to have somebody who's more of his pace fighter. McGregor, he's not quite Jose Aldo, and his leg kicks aren't as crazy. So I think that would be a really cool matchup, and it may happen in the future. So, but I don't really know who else he could face.
Yeah, he underwent surgery for a dislocated right shoulder and a broken orbital bone. Actually, I have experience. I almost needed to get surgery on an orbital bone, and the more your orbital bone breaks, the more susceptible it is to major injury where you need surgery on it. My right orbital bone's been broken twice, so I got to make sure I keep that motherfucker intact. But guys who fight like Zombie are, they put fire to the fucking wind, and that's what fucking happens. Especially these smaller guys who I suspect are more susceptible to injury. It was the Korean Zombie's first fight since May 2012 due to left shoulder surgery, and now he's undergoing right shoulder surgery, the orbital bone. It appears the 26-year-old will be on the rack again for an amount of time, but I do suspect he will be back. He has a lot of time in front of him, and I mean, if anything, for a young fighter, getting more time to train and not be injured, I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing overall. Actually, kind of a random sidebar. I was looking at Fight Matrix, and a lot of fighters, it lists their age, but it also lists their fight age, which mixes up fights. For instance, Vanderlei, I think, is 36. His fight age is 58. Because he's had so many fights. Guess what the oldest fight age I found on the fucking site was?
Randy Couture.
Randy Couture has a fight age of 80 or 68 or something. He is a super old age.
Wow.
I think Vanderlei, Sonnen, and Hendo are all listed in the 50s as far as fight age goes. I think Jose Aldo is all in his late 30s or something. But I found somebody with the fight age. I found someone with the fight age of 106.
Frankie Edgar.
Travis Fulton. Travis Fulton, who has the most pro MMA fights of anybody. He has over 100. He has a fight age of 106. I think the guy's still fighting. I think Monson's got a fight age in the goddamn 80s or something. I don't know why it popped
What
in my
about
head,
Jeremy Horn?
Jeremy Horn, I think, is in the 70s or 80s. They got a lot of fights under their belt, man. Speaking of
Eve Edwards. But Ron Van Cleef, man, remember he fought Hoist Gracie like in UFC 3 or 4? He was 52 years old.
Man, the catch is they've still got to be active and ranked on FightMatrix.com, so it's like hard to find, if not impossible, of retired fighters. I almost said retarded fighters there. All right. Michael McDonald, the 22-year-old, he has not got a very high fight age, I wouldn't suspect. Only 18 fights under his belt, even though that is a lot for 22. The man's just 22. Another fighter born in the fucking 90s fighting on this card. And he's not just born in the 90s and fighting on the card. This is his 6th UFC fight. He's 5-1 in the UFC, coming off a championship fight, loss to Renan Barão, a 4th round arm triangle choke. Comes back, gets a triangle choke of his own against Brad Pickett. Looked really impressive. I think he netted $100,000 because this was the fight of the night, and Michael McDonald earned honors for submission of the night alongside Chael P. Sonnen. What did you guys think of this fight?
Well, shit, I'll go first. Michael McDonald, I'm a believer, a true believer in this kid. This just proves, of course, what I was saying, man. He took a dive for Renan Barão. Look, he's a young kid, all right? 20, 21 years old. You tell him to take a dive, he's going to say, yes, sir. I just want to keep my job. He knows he's going to be a champ someday. He even said it doesn't matter to him when it comes. I'm a believer in Michael McDonald. This fight was just nothing to him, man. He exerted minimal effort, all right? Yeah, this fool had a good chin, but, you know, McDonald could have literally killed this man at any moment if he'd really felt like it. But, you know, he's got that, he worships Jesus, he loves the Lord. That's the only reason why Brad Pickett is still alive. And that is the word on the street. Does anybody doubt Michael McDonald? I don't give a fuck.
I don't know if I agree with your conspiracy theory. Sorry. Go ahead, Yao.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I believe in Michael McDonald too, and he has a very long time to mature, you know, work on his technique, get more experience, and he, like you said, he's 5-1 in the UFC at 22 years old. That's amazing, you know, and he's right there on the cusp of facing like a top contender again and trying to win that championship belt. So I was happy for him.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy into the conspiracy talk that much, but I definitely think Michael McDonald is a future champion. If you just look at his age, I mean, shit, he's gonna still be fighting when like everybody we know, like probably all 8 UFC champs will probably retire before him. So you know, he's one of these dudes we'll still be talking about a decade from now. He's gonna be in the top 10 till at least 2020. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the ride. The guy is a fucking beast. He finishes fights, and he's not one of these punks who you hear about getting in boat rage accidents. I mean, he won, and in the post-fight the post-fight interview with a giant smile on his face, is like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna let an Englishman beat me in Boston, where we won the American Revolution, Boston." So I mean, you know, he's just a nice fucking kid, and yeah, it's nice to see him get back in the win column. Ross, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was. I think Michael McDonald is the best bantamweight in the world who's not named Renan Barão. I think he's better than Faber, but still I'd put Faber ahead of him on the rankings. I won't even talk about Dominic Cruz. He's not fighting right now, so we're just going to pretend he doesn't exist. I'm very excited to see McDonald-Faber because that's quite a fight. And they're friends, but they don't give a shit. They'll fight each other. That's a high-level fight. You don't see a fight like that often. You don't see a fight with 2 just super elite guys that often. We got to see it with Ellenberger and McDonald, but it didn't work out too well. So hopefully this fight lives up to the hype, and congrats to Mayday McDonald.
Alan, do you have any thoughts?
I'm just going to say that this fight was fucking insane watching it live, only being 20 feet away from the octagon. I thought it was over numerous times. I was ready to get out of my seat. I had already started to run into the barricade, and so I'm just going to say it was an amazing performance by, not only McDonald and, his skillful execution of, his game plan and his striking, but, Brad Pickett, that motherfucker's chin. I mean, that dude's like a fucking, solid piece of granite not to go down. I mean, he got hit from every different angle, numerous times, and it was just, it was beautiful. So, yeah, I was excited watching it. I thought it was great. Can't wait to see McDonald fight somebody else.
For sure. And you know who else had a great performance during that that fight was the referee. I think he did a very skillful job. That first round, there were multiple points of the fight where Mayday was starting to swarm and Pickett was starting to look helpless. But every time Pickett was able to land a shot or defend himself, and the ref did a very, very excellent job of not stopping that at any point in the first round. And then in the second round, when Pickett wasn't really able to tap well because his hand was trapped, so literally all he could do was use his fingers and tap on Michael's chest, which Michael looked up and started screaming, he's tapping! But all in all, an excellent fight, one that very much warranted fight of the night. And that was the prelims. And before we get on to the main card, I teased it a little bit in the spoiler, and it is time for Yao's training log. Shit, Yao fucking, I won't tease it any longer. Our boy Yao is a gold medalist and a silver medalist. He was in 2 8-man tournaments where he had to win 3 fights apiece. He had to go 3-0 in each to get gold. In the first one, I think in no-gi, he went 3-0, defeated everybody, took the gold like that, wasn't even a problem. The second time around, he won in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Unfortunately, in the finals, he went up against Nam Fan, who was sandbagging, pretending he was a white belt, and unfortunately, Nam got him with a gi choke. He took silver in the gi simply just because Nam Fan decided to sandbag and join the tournament. But in the no-gi, our boy Yao took gold. All 5 of his fights were by points. We have a new nickname for him. It's the Black GSP, ladies and gentlemen. He is on the line with us. It's Yao the Truth. Very first, what's it feel like being a gold medalist, man?
It's amazing. I mean, it's, what I really wanted, the gold medal, and to finally have it was really, really pleasing. Like, I worked really hard for it, and to finally have it, in my hand is amazing, really.
Yeah, something you actually mentioned briefly, and me and you never got deep into it, but when I was talking to you, I think via text, when you sent me that picture of you with the gold and silver medals, you said your mindset was completely different than the first time around at Grappler's Quest. Sort of elaborate on that. How is your mindset any different?
Yeah, so like back at Grappler's Quest, my mindset, I worked, equally as hard, but my mindset at Grappler's Quest was, okay, I did everything I could to prepare, and I'm going to go in there, I'm going to beat everyone and win gold. I was humbled. And for this one, I went with the mindset that nobody deserves or has the right to beat me, and it worked out very well.
So, like, when you say no one has the right to beat you, like you're looking at it like they're trying to take something from you. I'm sort of like, I don't really understand what exactly you mean by that.
So, like, basically, I worked way too hard for anyone to just go and take what I want. So I went in saying, okay, I worked as hard as I could to do this. Like Chael once said, a fight happens when 2 people want something, but only one can have it. And I wanted it more, and I just didn't believe that they have the right to just go and take that away from me.
So what weight were you fighting at for the no-gi and the gi?
So for this tournament, they had 2 divisions, the gi and no-gi, and For no gi, it was 162, and for gi, it was 167. The gi was actually first. They did all the gi matches first, and then they did the no gi. So it wasn't even like I could eat first, after the first, because I had to be 167 for gi, and then 162 for no gi. So I couldn't really eat or drink either way, because then I would have been overweight for the no gi, if that makes sense. I don't know if I said it right.
No, yeah. Yeah, so we talked about a couple of the fights. One of them you said you actually drew with the guy on points. And how was that whole process from the fight to waiting on finding out who won?
Yeah, that was actually very scary. I now understand what happens is if you're if you're tied, the referee will decide, and time runs out, the referee will decide who won. He goes over in his head and says, well, this guy did this, he did that. He discusses it with the point scorers, the people who mark the points. And then he holds your hands and he decides who wins. That was very scary. I now understand what people go through when they have a close fight and they don't know if they won or not. And it was scary. I never want it to happen again. That fight, I got a takedown and I was on top trying to pass the entire time. And I knew that if it went to decision that I would get the nod, but there was always that, that chance that I wouldn't.
Word. So, what was the gold medal match like? I actually haven't even asked you this off of the air, so I'm kind of interested. Was the gold medal match you won close, or did you just beat this motherfucker down?
To win the gold in the finals, I believe my teammates said I had 11 points to zip. I got a takedown, I passed, I got his back, I got the mount, I got side control. I dominated the whole match, literally from start to end. And at the last 5 seconds, I almost got caught in the guillotine, and it was very scary. And I almost lost. It was tight, and it was 5 seconds left, and I was able to escape with 1 second remaining. But I dominated that match completely. What the biggest thing that helped me that day was my conditioning and endurance. I was able to push harder than anyone that I stepped on the mat with, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in, being able to work hard and keep working hard.
That's why we call him the Black GSP, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the best conditioning in the game. Alright, so looking forward, I know you were saying in one of your fights you kept taking the guy down, and your teammates were saying you were fighting like it was an MMA match or something. What is next? Do you plan on doing a grappling thing next? I know briefly you were talking about being in a Muay Thai tournament. You were talking about having your first AMI mixed martial arts fight later on, maybe early next year. What are your thoughts?
I'm actually going to focus on a lot of grappling until the end of the year, and then next year I'll start kickboxing and everything. That's my plan. But this year, for the whole entire year, I'm going to focus on grappling, about 5 or 6 more tournaments until December. I know there's a Renzo Gracie New York City tournament in December that I'm definitely going to do. And then there's some smaller tournaments in between. My next one is on September 7th.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. September 7th. That's what, just 2.5 weeks?
Yep.
Is that going to be a big tournament or a smaller one?
This should be, medium size. It's the North American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. So a lot of guys from the north side of America will, excuse me, not the north side of America, but guys from different states, they're going to come over to New Jersey for that tournament.
Word up. Anything else you wanted to say? Shit, you're fucking gold medalist. The mic is all yours.
Really, I want to thank you guys for having me on, and being able to say this, get my name out there and everything. Without you guys, I'd be nothing. So I just be another guy on Twitter. So thank you, really.
Just as long as you keep once you're in the UFC and you're a champ, I know you're going to have a busy schedule and you won't be able to come on every week, but just as long as once you become UFC champ, you check in from time to time, it's all worth it, brother. And we will move on to the main card. 6 fights actually on the main card that I wanted to talk about. No one won a gold medal like Yao, but nonetheless, they all were great fights. 3 of them going to decision, 3 of them being finished in the very first round. The first 2 went to decision. Michael Johnson defeating Joe Lauzon being the first one, winning by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27. And some judge threw out a 30-25. I don't know where that came from. That judge was like looking at his balls the whole fight. I don't know. But Michael Johnson did win the fight very, very surprisingly. Lauzon was a big favorite, obviously fighting in his backyard. The guy puts on wars. Johnson has been shaky at best. He does have impressive victories, but he has a lot of unimpressive losses too. And now Joe is on a 2-fight losing streak. And definitely his camp's going to be pretty stressful for the next fight. But as far as Michael Johnson winning, Johnson said later on something along the lines of, "This was in the game plan. We game planned for Joe, and it worked." Was Michael Johnson just dominating Joe bell to bell more a good game plan, or is Jay Lau starting to fade away a little bit?
Hey, I'll speak first. Michael Johnson, he prepared for this fight very well. You could tell he was ready. He was confident. He fought that fight. A lot of people say, "Oh, Joe Lauzon is just fading," or Michael Johnson has had a good night. He fought that fight with confidence. Like, you could see it all over him. I know Joe Lauzon was talking about how he wanted to, take away Michael Johnson's jab and everything. Where if you ask 10 educated fans on MMA and the UFC how what is his name, Joe Lauzon would win this fight, they would say by submission. Why not push the grappling? Why not go after it? So I think it was a fail on his part to not go after the grappling. Kind of like with what Vinny did with Phil Davis. He didn't really push to initiate the grappling, and that's what happens. You lose when you don't do what you're good at. So I'm very happy for Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson put on a fantastic performance, and I can't take anything away from that. He went out there, he imposed a game plan, he knew how to beat Joe Lauzon, and he executed it perfectly. I mean, he had superior hand speed, superior boxing. Joe Lauzon is one of these guys who's always tough, always is going to be a great fighter, and one of those, just, you have to respect that guy. He's been through so many wars, he's finished every single one of his wins. There's no way you can't not there's no way you can hate the guy. I think he's just been in too many wars, and he doesn't have a great chin anymore. A lot of people confuse a great chin with tremendous heart, and just because you have a great heart and you have tremendous heart, you're not going to have a great chin. You can be tough and still not have a great chin. The chin, one day you just wake up and you don't have it anymore. And Joe Lauzon he doesn't have it anymore. So congrats to Michael Johnson, and thank you, Joe Lauzon, for some great fights. And I really don't want to see him fight anymore, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Joe Lauzon, bum status as far as I'm concerned. He's on the threshold. He's done. He showed up looking and fighting like Uncle Fester. I'm done with him. That's all I got to say.
Well, Ramses, if you were reading the Skype chat, you would see that I was going to pop in after Ross, but I won't hold your nuts to the fire for too long. Yeah, Joe.
This fucking chat, you guys typing. I'm sitting here talking, smoking weed, leisurely.
Yeah, if you have 5 monitors, it shouldn't be an issue pulling it up on one of them. Yeah, I mean, he does have some good wins on his record. His last, I think, I think, like, literally he has, wow, I'm looking at it now. In the UFC, he has 9 wins. He has 9 wins in the UFC, 7 are by submission. The dude is always winning by sub, and if he's fighting a guy that he can't sub out, he's not going to win. Just look back to the George Soteropoulos fight where he himself got subbed in the second round. Pettis KO'd him. Miller if any fight argues why Lauzon should retire, it's that fucking Miller fight. I mean, you still see the scars, multiple scars on Joe's face from that fight, including that massive one over his eyebrow. He's lost 2 in a row. I selfishly want to see him fight because he's an exciting fighter. He has more of the night bonuses than anybody else. He's tied with Silva at number 1. But, Jesus Christ, for his sake, it might be a good idea, like Ross said, to hang him up. Alan, you have any thoughts? Alan's on a call. Alan's down, officer down, ladies and gentlemen. All
no,
right. Nope.
I'm here.
There he is.
I just wanted to comment and say that Joe Lauzon's scar looks fucking crazy still from that fight in December. It's been, almost 10 months.
Yeah.
And I saw him in person, and that fucking scar still looks terrible.
Yeah, that scar is going to be with him the rest of his life. I saw a video of some technique they use, and they basically take a rounded, flattened metal tool, and they just push on it as hard as they can and try and break up the scar tissue and literally run it over his face like a rolling pin. It looks very uncomfortable, very painful. All right, let's fucking move on to another fight. We got goddamn John Howard facing Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall loses another split decision, and like the Gastelum fight, he just did not seem to have the aggressiveness. I don't know if he's having trouble fighting in front of crowds, if he just lost that killer mentality after almost killing a man in the Tough House. Obviously, I'm talking about the Adam Cella knockout. What's wrong with Uriah Hall? Simple as that. I'll put it out there. Ramses, I'll pass it off to you first, so you don't have to interrupt anybody. You goddamn cocksucker.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Uriah Hall, he needs one more chance here. There's something wrong with this kid in his head. All right, it's not that Doomsday Howard was the better fighter. Does anybody really want to argue that one? No, man, this problem's all on Uriah's end, and I hope he gets his shit together, man. And I hope he doesn't get cut. He should get at least one fight. Like I said, people should consider the fact that his opponent was switched up on his ass twice before it was finally John Doomsday, third opponent. So, give him one more fucking chance. We saw him do some shit. He just put him on the Facebook prelim even. Make it a dark match. Just one more time at least. I'm biased because I'm Team Darkside, but Uriah Hall, I still believe, man. It's somewhere in there. Just let it out. Let that hate out, son. Anybody else?
Yeah.
You want to go?
Sure. Yeah, I think he just needs one more chance. I really hope they don't release him. I think he just has a mental problem, like he talked about in the Tough House all the time, self-doubt and negative thinking and everything. And I think he just needs one more chance to really just go all out, not hold anything back. And I understand how much I try to understand how much pressure he's under after how well he did in the Tough House, So I think he just needs one more chance to just really showcase what he's about.
Yeah, I think he does deserve one more chance. He has all the talent in the world. This is a guy who has the talent to be a top 10, potential top 5 talent, maybe even fight for the belt. The hype, it really isn't a lie. He's a fantastic talent. The problem is when Dana White says he isn't a fighter, he just doesn't have that true fighter mentality. If you put him in front of 10 people in the tough gym, not under the big bright lights. Well, the light's pretty bright there, but he'll still perform well because he's not under tremendous pressure in front of all these people. But when you have 15,000 people, 30,000 eyeballs looking at you, give or take some of the people who are missing eyes, it's going to be scary for him, and he can't get used to that feeling. He needs to get used to that feeling if he wants to fight in the UFC or any big promotion that's not Ring of Combat. Ring of Combat, you've got like 800, 900 people watching you. In the UFC, you've got 15,000 plus the millions and millions of people who are watching worldwide. So I think he has all the talent in the world. He needs to change up his training camp, I think. He needs to move back to New York, get away from California, get away from maybe some of the stuff California brings on, come back to New York, get settled down a little bit, train at like Serra-Longo or somewhere where he can improve just everywhere. And I want to see Uriah Hall succeed. And as far as the fight went, I keep flipping back and forth. I keep rewatching the fight. One day I'll go for Uriah, the other day I'll go for John Howard. It was a close fight, and there really just was no definite winner by truly any means. So I hope to see him still in the UFC.
Officer Allen, I'm going to give him time because it took him a little bit of time.
I'm here.
Yeah, there he is. Takes him a minute.
Seeing the fight, man, I really wanted Uriah to win, but whenever, they were standing there and the ref was about to raise a hand, I knew that Uriah had lost the fight just with the aggressiveness of Howard. Uriah, like Dana White said, was high-fiving. I mean, he didn't want to, knock the guy out, and that's the mentality that you need. And I know some of us have touched on it, like on the Word on the Street podcast with, Uriah having that vicious knockout of Adam Sella that, that might have done something to him mentally, like he doesn't want to do that again or be responsible for hurting somebody, but, he's just going to have to get over that and, just go out there and fucking throw some crazy shit at the guy that's standing across the octagon from him and, not care about what happens to the other guy. He's going to have to go out there with some WWE ruthless aggression, like Vince McMahon would say, and just KO the fuck out of all the competition. He's going to get another shot. It will be on the Facebook prelims, and he will probably knock the fuck out of that poor helpless soul.
I'd like to see another rematch against Adam Sella. Maybe Uriah Hall can finish the job he wasn't able to finish in the Tough Gym. All right, let's move on. Matt Brown, Mike Pyle. Matt Brown defeating Mike Pyle, who's a tough motherfucker, in less than 30 seconds via KO. And then after the fight, he calls out George St. Pierre. He has 6 consecutive wins. I think he's pretty close to the title shot. And you know what? I say Matt Brown is 1 fight away from GSP. And the reason I think that is because I think Brown's going to win his fight, and I think GSP is going to lose against Hendricks, and Brown will probably get that as a top contender match. But he calls out GSP, and there's lots of options on the table for Matt Brown. Maybe the winner of Shields Maya, maybe the winner of Lawler versus McDonald, maybe the winner of Condit versus Campman. You have Tarek Safadine floating out there. A lot of options. The welterweight division is the most stacked division in the UFC. What do you guys think? How close is Matt Brown to that welterweight championship? Ross?
Matt Brown is 1 fight away from the welterweight championship in my eyes. I think he's a top 10 guy now. He is borderline top 5. He's finishing guys. He's finished 5 of the 6 guys he's beaten. He's derailed hype trains. He's come from behind. He's overcome the odds. Just every time you count the guy out, he always delivers, and he always comes out with the win. I think he's had a complete career resurgence. He's one of these guys, like Chael said on the UFC Tonight the other night. He said he's like a fine wine. He gets better with time, and that's really is the truth. He was one of these guys who he was never really good at anything, but just over time he just developed and got better at every aspect of the game, and he's just got such power in his hands. And it's not that he's very, very good, which he is, but he's so aggressive and he fights you. and he goes out there, he puts the pressure, and he swarms you. Look at Mike Pyle. He had no answer for it. 5 other men didn't have an answer for it. So Matt Brown deserves a title shot. I don't know who he should fight next. The division's so clogged up, but he deserves a title shot.
Alan, you fucker.
Yeah, I'm gonna also say that he's one fight away from maybe getting a title shot. That one fight having to be against a top level, top 5 wrestler. He's going to have to prove himself that he can hang in there with a wrestler. That's when he's really had trouble, whenever he's fought wrestlers in the past. And especially if GSP loses to Johnny Hendricks, Matt Brown and Johnny Hendricks, that fucking makes for an exciting fight that you can throw on pay-per-view, and all it does is, build both guys. So, like I said, I also agree. I think he's one fight away, but that one fight is going to be a tough fight. It's going to be against a top-level wrestler. He's going to have to prove that he can hang in there with wrestlers. And, whenever Johnny Hendricks knocks out GSP, Matt Brown, he'll be next.
That's right.
Man, if Matt Brown doesn't come up with a gimmick, he's not going to go anywhere. Nobody knows who he is. His name's too plain and common sounding. Division's too stacked. It was a good win, but it was against Mike Pyle, so come on, let's be real here. Let's bring it back down to earth. Matt Brown versus Mike Pyle was an irrelevant fight. That's all I got to say. It's the word on the street.
Yeah, I mean, Pyle's not a bum, though. The dude has a few impressive wins. Sorry. Go ahead, Yao.
No, thank you. No, I was just going to say, Matt Brown, time and time again, after he keeps beating people, he's looking better, new and improved and everything. But they need to stop feeding him bums. And I think he needs, a top, I'd like to see him fight Tyrone Woodley. I think that would be a good matchup. They need to stop feeding him bums. And then I think he can keep winning and get close to a title shot.
Yeah, and Pyle is not a bum. I mean, Pyle, before losing to Matt Brown, defeated Rick Story via decision. Before that, he's the only man to ever finish James Head with strikes, and one of only 2 people to ever beat Josh Neer with strikes. So Pyle can definitely bang with the best of them. Brown on a 6-fight winning streak. I don't care who he fights next. I just hope he gets a top 10 guy, because he really fucking deserves it. Alright, we're in the top 3 fights now. The co-main event, the co-main event, and the main event. Let's start with the bantamweight fight, Uriah Faber and Yuri Alcantara. Yuri looked very good. He looked better than I thought he would against a guy like Faber. But Faber did take the unanimous decision, 30-26, 30-26, 30-27. I didn't give any rounds, 10-8 to Faber. Like I mentioned earlier, the judges seemed a little trigger happy with giving out the 10-8s. But Yuri didn't look bad, but Faber, just proved. I mean, dude, Faber is one of the most consistent guys ever. He has never lost in a non-title fight. All 6 of his losses are either UFC, WEC, or I think earlier in his career, he was in like Gladiator Challenge or something, like in 05. But yeah, the dude, if it's not a title fight, he's gonna win it. And he went out there and he won the fight. Simple as that. Like we mentioned before, I'd love a fight against Michael McDonald. That would be entertaining as fuck. What did you guys think of the fight, and what do you think's next for Uriah Faber? How close is he to a title shot? All that good shit.
He's a bum. Alright, I'll go first. Why not? Nobody else piped in. I even checked the chat that time. Alright, guys, you fucking happy now? Little typers.
Typing away.
Midnight typers.
Little tappers, tapping away.
You John Ogazuski Juniors. Listen, Uriah Faber's done. He's a bum. He's breaking everything in every fight now. It's ridiculous. This fight was a work, hands down. No doubt about it. Yuri who? You know what I'm saying? Come on, quit setting Uriah up with a title fight. We all know he's probably going to be the return match against Dominic Cruz or some shit like that. They're going to figure out some way to do that. Cruz ain't coming back this year. I don't know. This fight, yeah, I don't even remember what he submitted him or what was it? I don't even fucking know. I'm not a believer. I'm sorry. They're fucking assisting. It's like assisting this for Uriah Faber. They're laying this shit up for him. I'm sick of it. He's done. He is reduced to bum status. I don't care if he wins his next 10 fights in a row. It is all a work when it comes to the California kid. I don't know what favor he did, but they owe him still, and that's the word on the street.
I have to shit on that opinion yet again. In my opinion, I completely disagree with everything he said. I think Uriah Faber is the best bantamweight in the world, not named Renan Barão. And I put him above Dominic Cruz, honestly, because I think in a rematch, in a third fight, he would win that fight. I think Faber finishes him. Cruz doesn't have the movement, but that's a different story for a different time. Yuri Alcantara is still a very, very tough, gritty prospect. He's a scrappy Brazilian who is getting better and better. He's in a weight class that he should be in. He just got beat by a more experienced, tougher, craftier veteran. And that's going to happen. He's going to grow. He's going to get better and better. And he'll fight for a belt one day, I have no doubt. I mean, you saw what he did in the first round. He threw Faber to the ground and mounted him for a good majority of the round. So big things are in Yuri Alcantara's future. This is a minor setback. Losing to a guy like Faber is nothing to be ashamed of, especially going 3 tough rounds with Faber. So he will learn, he'll grow, and Faber he needs to cross over that hump. He can't win that big one. Maybe he'll be able to do it one day, but as of right now, it remains to be seen. Renan Barão, I don't think can be beat, but let's see what happens.
Alan, what do you think about Uriah Faber's fight? You think he's a bum like your boy Hamzy's?
No. The only knock I have against Uriah Faber is I think that his hands are done. I watched him throw elbows, and whenever he did punch, it was like he was swinging over Alcantara's head just so it looked like he was connecting.
He's pulling his punches.
Yeah, I mean, I think his hands really are done. I think that's the only thing that's going to stop him from ever being a UFC champion. I don't think he's a bum. I mean, fuck, he's the best fighter in the UFC that can't use his hands. You know, nobody else can be as successful as Faber is without using his hands. So, I don't think that he'll be the champion, but I don't think there's many guys out there who can beat him. And, he's got some money to make and some fights to take.
Yeah, that fight was great. I like to see, dominant performances like that. People always, a lot of time people knock, unanimous decision wins and everything. Oh, he didn't finish. If you can beat a guy for an entire fight when you know you're up and you have to stay up, that's impressive. That's equally impressive for me. And the whole hand argument is stupid and irrelevant. You have to remember he has, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 shins, 2 feet. Another, he has a lot of weapons and tools that he can use. So the hand argument is irrelevant.
Powerful words from the Truth, a fighter himself. Let's move on. Looks like we got a call, actually. Let me add it up. Caller, how do you wish to identify yourself, and how you doing?
Hey, it's Gregory.
Gregory, where are you calling from, man?
New York.
God bless you.
New York. Yo, what did you think of this Uriah Faber fighter, or did you call in to chat about something different?
Well, as a homosexual male, I find Uriah Faber to be very, very good in the ring or the octagon, and it is incredibly, incredibly satisfying to see him run around.
So, I mean, how homo are you exactly?
Well, let's say I'm pretty homo. I've masturbated to about 50 UFC fights and counting.
50?
Yes, sir.
Which one's
All
your
right.
go-to UFC?
I'm gonna go ahead and drop you because he couldn't think of one.
Yeah, he couldn't handle the curveball.
He couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle it.
You're gonna
All
do
right.
a character.
Yeah, you gotta be quick with your
Commit.
shit, cocksucker. Come on, son. All right, let's move on to Travis Brown, Alistair Overeem. I don't know if we've ever had a caller call in to fuck around with us, so that was a fun first. Usually people are just calling about the news, which if you do want to call in, and whether you want to call in and talk about the latest MMA news or talk about what fighters you like to see run around the ring, the phone number is 213-457-3380 or the Skype, the MMA Podcast. You can also tweet us as well at the MMA Podcast. Let's get to the co-main event. Travis Brown defeating Alistair Overeem via KO in the first round. I mean, this was not what anyone expected, especially after that first stanza where Reem was fucking Brown up. He really laid it to him. Before we talk about what's next for Travis Brown, what's next for Alistair Overeem? Is this dude a bum? Ramses, I'll fucking pass to you because I know you got strong feelings about this.
Yep, I'm sorry, people. He is officially Overeem. It pains me to say this. He is reduced to bum status. Even after 2 losses. Yeah, it's only 2. Typically, it takes 3 to get cut from the UFC. But, like I said, it's the manner in which he lost. 2 brutal, unexpected knockouts when he should have won. He actually was winning. And then something happens, man. It's like he's only got maybe a minute or 2 of juice before that power bar runs down and it's blinking. He's fucking crawling around, man. His arms weigh 300 pounds. It's like he's trying to, it's like gravity don't work anymore, and I understand that, man. I've been there, dude. But he can't push through. He can't dig down. He gets knocked out. Second time in a row, heavyweight level. I don't see him coming back with some sort of brilliant performance, working his way back up to the top. Alistair Overeem, I'm sorry. He lost to Travis Brown. People don't even know the difference between him and that other guy. I can't even name his...
Mark Hunt?
No, not Mark Hunt. The other guy that looks exactly like Travis Brown.
Matt Mitrione?
No, the other guy. See, that's my point. But anyway, Overeem, bum status. Sorry. Word on the street.
That's right, and we did get a tweet from Chris, who tweets in, as a fully credentialed pillow biter, this show is the only one I can swallow. All of it. I like the heavy sexual undertones there. Who else has thoughts about Alistair Overeem? He's got a testy chin, but that was a hell of a kick thrown up by Travis Brown. What do you guys think?
Look, I'll start off by saying this. Like I said yesterday on the Word and Street podcast, Alistair Overeem is a K1 Grand Prix champion, which means you have to beat 3 of the best kickboxers in the world in one night. That's one of the most prestigious titles in all of combat, striking sports. That front kick that Travis Brown kept throwing, I know Alistair read it. He just didn't address it, and it led to his downfall. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I got one word, respect. And Alistair Overeem doesn't have any respect for other fighters who he steps in the octagon with. He totally disregards them, takes everything for granted, just like his fans. And he got knocked the fuck out. I don't think he's a bum. I think he should be winning these fights. I think he needs to change training camps. He needs to go to, somewhere to where these people aren't like fucking yes men and they're not backing him up and, like hand feeding him, you're awesomes and patting him on the ass and, whatever else they're doing for him. But, I definitely think that he needs to change training camps, and that would be the best thing for him.
Yeah, changing training camps is something that will help him tremendously, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have a great chin. It's something that we should have all known for a while now. He's had a suspect chin for a while, but now it's pretty much confirmed. He does not have a great chin. He's in the wrong place, training in the wrong place. Training in Miami is not a great thing for him. He's partying too much. Miami's a big party city. He's not looking in the best shape of his career. Now that could be attributed to other things, but we won't get into that because I am an Overeem fan, a disappointed Overeem fan, but I'm an Overeem fan. Although after this past weekend, not so much. That's the stories I've heard.
Yeah, we had some negative stories, which actually we'll ask Alan about next. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Overeem training at the Black Zillions, and I'm sorry, Yao, I will preface this with sorry, Yao, but the Black Zillions are not a true team. They're a business. There's no team unity there. They're constantly like switching out coaches. I mean, one day Mike Van Arsdale was the head coach there. The next day he's gone and Kenny Monday's taken over, and like other people have left. So you got Overeem putting up curtains to block out his training from other teammates. It's a business, and it's not a true team. You have teams like Jackson's camp. Although they have their weird ways, they're still a team. There's team unity there, a.k.a. there's team unity. So Overeem needs to change training camps, but I do not think he will ever be a title contender, ever. And he sure as hell can't beat JDS or Kane, because especially JDS. JDS comes with these under attacks, those uppercuts, and Overeem is very susceptible to those under attacks. So the front kicks that come under, you can catch him with that, and you can catch him with the uppercut because he leans forward and his hands are apart. So it's right there.
And Alan, you said before the weekend you didn't have any problems with Alistair Overeem, but you told us you saw another side of him. Oh wow, he's calling. I guess he's not in the call right now. Officer Allen, are you with us?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a good time you call because I was actually posing you a question. I never heard you say anything negative about the Reem before this weekend, but apparently you saw another side of him in Boston. Sort of expound on that for us.
Yeah, I normally don't tend to, hate on fighters because, I respect them, everything that they do, what they go through. I have some friends that fight professionally and work full-time jobs. And, I never try to say anything terrible about them unless they're just like total fucktards and they do stupid shit. But I went to UFC on Fox Sports one. I stayed at the Fighter Hotel. I was there all week. I tend to be a better fan because I don't go and hound these guys. I don't even bother half of them. I just, the ones that the other guys are trying to get autographs from, I just sit there and talk to them, just like normal person. And, I saw the Reem and I was really excited. And I had a poster that Ross Finkelstein had created, which was epic. And I wanted to get Alistair to sign it. I was trying to get all the guys that were on that poster to sign the poster. Well, I had gotten everybody to sign it, and it was time for the Reem to do his part. And, so I went and politely asked his people if he might have a moment. I didn't go and hound him or whatever. I was real careful. And, they were like, well, go ask him. Well, I went and asked him, and the fucker, just... I fucked me, and he signed my poster, but it's like he didn't say anything, nothing. It was basically like I was Travis Brown, and he was just eye fucking me, and it was pretty rude. He didn't say anything. And later on that week, they took the VIP people backstage that had VIP tickets to meet with all the fighters, and all the fighters, came over there and said, hey, took pictures. I mean, I'm talking guys like Uriah Faber and Chael Sonnen, guys who cut weight, actually cut weight and are dehydrated, tired, on the brink of death almost. And the one guy that wouldn't come over there was fucking Alistair Overeem. He told the VIP coordinator that, you know, he didn't feel up to it. So he was smiling at the time whenever he said that, and it just made me want to burn my Alistair Overeem shirts and, you know, blow up my Alistair Overeem figure, which I will do, and we will have video of at a later time. So fuck you, Alistair Overeem.
What are you going to use to blow it up?
I haven't figured that out yet. It'll probably be something really good and juicy.
You just wait until you like catch a few tweakers, and then put the Overeem figure in the middle of a meth lab. Spark it up. You probably would be able to explain that to your police chief without getting in any trouble. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Travis Brown. We actually talked about Reem and what's next for him. I don't think he should be cut, but this was the 8th time he's been finished via KO or TKO, which also I am putting a request out there for people who make YouTube videos. Ross Ramses. Very simple. I just want to get like a 10-second clip of the Ariel Hawaii interview with Alistair Overeem, where Hawaii asks Reem, so Alistair, how do you think this fight on Saturday is going to end? And Alistair takes the mic and goes, KO. And then I just want a quick clip of Travis Brown front kicking Overeem. That would be an awesome GIF / YouTube video. Anyway, Travis...
Blooded.
That is pretty cold-blooded. Travis Brown now 15-1-1. His only loss, a kind of fluky loss to Antonio Silva, which, in my opinion, if Brown's leg hadn't have given out, Brown would have won easily. And in my opinion, the guy's still basically undefeated. Now he has wins against, you know, pretty credible strikers like Gabriel Gonzaga and Alistair Overeem. I really want to see Travis Brown take on a top 10, if not a top 5 guy now. I mean, thinking of the current heavyweight picture, you got Kane and Junior, who obviously are going to fight in October in Houston, and we'll see whether or not Ramses is able to sneak away. Dude, this is what I'm saying. You just find a body double to wear sunglasses, and you show up yourself, and just like talk with a real wrestler who's like sick, I can't talk, I'm sick, and like, you know, make it known to all the people you would talk to, oh, I'm sick, my throat, and then just have your stand-in, just wear sunglasses and a suit the whole time, walk around, munch on a few hors d'oeuvres and whatnot. I mean, this is going to be UFC 166 is going to be a epic card. You also obviously got Daniel Cormier and Roy Nelson in what might be Cormier's last fight at heavyweight. Other than that, currently I think Verdum doesn't have a scheduled opponent. He just beat Big Nog. Antonio Silva obviously is coming off getting his ass kicked by Cain Velasquez again. I feel like Bigfoot or Fabricio, maybe the winner of Mir versus Barnett. I mean, those are the only options, because you go further down, you get back into guys like Hunt and Overeem, who I think Brown has proven to be leagues ahead of. So let's see it, Brown versus Verdum, and shit, I think the winner of that, I mean, if Cormier moves down, the winner of Brown versus Verdum would make sense for the next title shot for the winner of the trilogy fight between Junior and Kane. And that's right, yeah. I think Travis Brown is still basically undefeated. Don't give me none of this nonsense. Well, yeah, I'll pass it off to you. I say Brown is undefeated because he only has one fluky loss. What do you think?
All right, I'll just start by saying this: the sentence, he's basically undefeated, gets thrown around a lot. Or I look at him as an undefeated fighter. That gets thrown around way too much. Travis Brown got knocked out back in October. We all saw it. So what? He broke his leg.
Let me talk Travis Brown's salad.
Hey, yeah, get the fuck out of here. It's the same fucking dude. I didn't know. It was an unknown number. We do get a few people calling from unknown numbers. Thought it might be someone else. but it's just this coward who just called and wanted to say something about tossing Travis Brown's salad, which I think is actually really funny because he's saying it like this isn't a dirty podcast and we wouldn't already be talking about tossing people's salad. But, yeah, I won't be taking any more calls from any unknown numbers tonight, so if you want to call in, use your real number or call us on Skype, the MMA Podcast, because we got a fucking coward out there, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, yeah, go ahead before this rude motherfucker interrupted you.
Yeah, I was just saying, Travis Brown, he lost that fight. He got knocked out. We all saw it. His leg broke. So what? It's a fight. You lose, oh well. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm going to go next. Travis Brown is undefeated. That's an injury TKO. That's like saying that Damian Maia is a better fighter than Dong Young Kim when we all know that he's not and that he didn't actually beat Dong Young Kim. Dong Young Kim got hurt. Travis Brown got hurt, and Bigfoot dumbass was able to take advantage of that. Same thing with Korean Zombie. He was taken advantage of by another guy. So I'm just going to go out there and say Travis Brown is still undefeated. His only close call was to Chet Congo, which was a draw, and was much earlier in his MMA career. This guy's only been doing this for 4 years, and he's progressed to the level of knocking Alistair Overeem of the Black Zillions out. And Alistair's been doing this for like 15 years and done it at higher levels. So I think we have a lot more to see from Travis Brown. The dude's a tough son of a bitch. I don't think I've ever seen anybody take that kind of abuse, especially at heavyweight, and keep coming. So I'm excited to see Travis Brown. I think he could take shots from Kane and hang in there. And, yeah, that's all I got to say. Travis Brown destroyed a Black Zillion. Sure, he can destroy another one. Bring it on.
Bring it on, cocksuckers. Ross, Ramses.
Travis Brown, come on. Who is this guy? He looked like a bum against Bigfoot. He beat somebody that Bigfoot beat. As far as I'm concerned, there's been no advancement in his career. That's all I gotta say.
I gotta agree with you, Jake. I think he is basically undefeated. The Bigfoot fight is a complete fluke. Bigfoot is a terrible fighter. He's got a couple of fluke wins, and for some reason he's still ranked in the top 10. And in some people's top 5, most people's top 5 actually. So I think Travis Brown is one fight away from the title. I think what's next for him is a fight with Fabricio Verdum. Let's see who the number one contender truly is. Verdum is on a 3-fight winning streak, and yes, he's looked good, but he hasn't beat anyone big. He beat Roy Nelson, he beat Mike Russow, and he beat Big Nog, and no one stands out there. So getting a win over Travis Brown would cement him as the number one contender, and for Travis Brown, getting a win over Overeem and then Verdum, that'll make him the number one contender, no doubt. So that needs to happen. I say put that on Fox in December. That's a perfect main event.
Fuck yeah. Shit, yeah. I actually like that idea a lot. I think Brown really could be just a single fight away from fighting for the championship. That brings us to the main event, a fight I know all of us are excited to talk about, itching to talk about. It was a truly amazing fight. But first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get to the stat of the day. Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here comes the stat of the day! Shogun, who has truly been at the top of the heap of the light heavyweight since joining the UFC in 2007, in his 5 UFC losses prior to last weekend, every opponent that beat Shogun Hua was offered a title shot or a title defense in their very next match. Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here comes the stat of the day! All right, and now, we got Chael Sonnen, who a lot of people were counting out. He actually started off as a favorite, but at fight time he was an underdog, and Dana White described it perfectly. The only reason someone goes from minus 150 to plus 150 in that short amount of time means somebody or some people put a lot of money on him. Was it Vanderlei Silva? Looked like it may have been. He was talking about putting lots of cash on him, and there is a video of Vanderlei at a bar with him like putting his hands on his head when Chael tapped him out. But like I said, Chael submits Shogun Rua via submission, guillotine choke with 13 seconds left in the first round. Chael Sonnen now the only man to ever be ranked at 2 different weight classes in the UFC. Not that we won't see it in the future because the rankings are relatively new, but he is at this point the first and only man to be ranked at 2 different weight classes. I'll pass it off to Alan and Ross first. I guess we'll lead off with Alan because you guys were there. Chael Sonnen, guillotine chokes, Shogun Rua. What'd you think of the fight? What was the electricity like being there?
It was it was amazing. I'm all choked up now just thinking about it. I've watched it 18 times since it happened. I don't know how to describe it. It was perfect. It was like magic. We were nervous. I know me and my brother, Hiro Shinwoo, and Amber Matthews, we were all, right there in the front row. We were, anticipating it. We were nervous. We were hoping that, no flukes happened, nothing crazy. We had her, I checked before the fight, before the event even began, I checked with Herb Dean to make sure that he was going to be reffing Chael's fight, to make sure there was no Eve Levine fuckery going on. And he confirmed that. So, I just had a good feeling about the whole thing. And from the opening, when Chael took him down, even whenever, Rua got back up and was able, Chael went for the toss, to try to, flip him over and just kind of fell back. It wasn't a Shogun takedown. I wasn't even worried then. I feel that Chael's made leaps and bounds in his guard game. And, as the first round, started to close, Chael started to land some shots, and it looked like he was wearing out Shogun because Shogun wasn't really being active. And whenever Shogun started to stand up, and I saw Chael cinch down and lock up that guillotine as they were standing, it was like Shogun knew what was going on, and he paused, and it was like he couldn't do anything to stop it. And the second that Chael jumped, put his leg around that arm, and locked in that guillotine and, pulled guard. I was watching, and right as Shogun, was squirming and stopped, and then his hand raised up just a bit, I knew he was about to tap, and I started running for the rails. And, he did. When they announced Chael's name, it was nuts. I always dreamed of, because I missed UFC 136, and I always dreamed of actually getting to be there to see one of Chael's, post-fight speeches that he did, and being in the same building with the man as he gave one of those speeches. It was just, it was the crazy thing I've ever.
Ross, you were there. What did you think? Chael Sonnen, Shogun Rua, God damn it, the first round choke.
Oh my God, it was just like Alan said, it was a magical moment. It was epic. It was the best thing ever. The best moment I've ever experienced at an MMA event. And yeah, Chael is the man. When he took Shogun down, the whole entire time I was just going crazy for Chael, cheering him on. I started the night off. I had a straight view of the octagon, but my entire section was basically just all Brazilians, and they had flags, they had signs, they were going crazy for all the Brazilian people, so I had to get the fuck out of there. I couldn't be the only Sonnen fan in the section, so I moved closer to the cage. I gave myself a seat upgrade, got the nice VIP style cushioned seats, and I watched the fights from there. But I was with a couple of Sonnen fans, not too many, a couple Shogun fans also, but it was manageable. And just, My hands hurt from clapping for him. Just seeing him get that choke. The second he got his arm around his neck and he was about to pull guard, I knew right then and there that he had it. Because it looked so tight, and it didn't look like there was any way that Shogun could have pulled out of that. He was stuck, and he had his arm trapped too, so great work by Chael. And once he got that win, I was just going crazy. I jumped up, I was high-fiving people around me. I immediately started to try to get to the floor to meet up with Alan on the floor. Couldn't get to the floor, but I was listening closely to every word Chael was saying, including the shout-out to Elena, which was awesome. And, yeah, it was just a magical moment.
Ramses, what did you think? Was a single tear rolling down your cheek?
Listen, funny you should mention that. I've been alive for a number of years on this world, and I've only cried 3 times in my life. All right, they tell me the first time was when I was born, of course. Second time, this past weekend, seeing Chael Sonnen win his second title in the second division, light heavyweight UFC. Now he's dual champion in the UFC, 2 divisions. Anyway, that was the second time I cried seeing that happen, even though it was prophesized and foretold in the Bible itself. Third time I cried is right now, people, and I'm sorry that it's radio. It's internet radio. There is an actual tear streaming down my fucking face too, Alan. This is the happiest, most glorious moment of my life. There is no questioning now. No one's doubting that Chael Sonnen is the greatest fighter of all time. There's nobody doubting it anymore. He is, hands down. I mean, look, if you want to get all technical, oh wait, pound for pound, John Jones is still ranked up. No. John Jones took 3 rounds to beat Shogun to get the belt. Chael beat Shogun in 1 round. Therefore, he is better than John Jones. That's all I have to say. That's the word on the street. Congratulations to the man himself. The man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. The man of the minute. You got a girlfriend, he'll go up in it. Chael Sonnen, thank you. Word on the street.
Yeah, what do you think about the man of the minute? If you got a girl, he'll get all up in it. What'd you think of the fight?
Fight was amazing. You know, I'll say this. Chael Sonnen was a legend 2 fights ago. And today, he's even more of a legend. You know, he's going to go down in the history books. He hasn't won a world title, but he is champion in 2 divisions. And he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget about the fact, which I love when fans both say, Chael's a bum, he's a shitty fighter. Like, since Chael beat Dan Miller back at UFC 98, back when UFCs fucking had 2 digits, before we even got into the triple-digit UFCs, the only 2 men Chael has quote-unquote lost to are the 2 greatest fighters of all time, Anderson Silva and John Jones. You can't really hold that against him. Other than those 2 guys, he's 6-0 against all other comers, defeating Shogun. And the other thing I hear all the time is Chael's such a piece of shit. He has no respect. He's just all this stuff about his character. Chael has more character than fucking, what that gets at me the most, even more than the shitty fighter line, because Chael, he was rocking the pink ribbon for both his grandma and our friend Elena, Danielle, shout out to her. Chael is an all-around guy. You talk to anybody who's ever met Chael, whether it's guys like Ross and Allen who have had, more exposure to him than the average fan, or just the average fan who gets a signature from him, he always has a smile on his face, is never rude to the fans, and yeah, he talks shit about his opponents, but that's so he can sell fights, you dumb motherfuckers. So yeah, Chael fucking Sonnen, he and BJ are definitely my favorite fighters of all time. What's next for Chael? Chael P. It looks like now. I mean, it really looks like Vanderlei is going to be next for him. We didn't know if it was going to be Vitor or Lyoto, who apparently both of them were talking shit at him. But now, literally in the past 24 hours, both of them have been scheduled for fights. Vitor against Dan Henderson, and now Lyoto Machida against Tim Kennedy, which we'll briefly touch on. So it looks like he'll fight Vanderlei at either 168 or 167. Pardon me. Do you think that's going to be the next fight for him? I don't like it that much. Pardon me. I don't like it that much because I don't think it does much for Sonnen. I think Sonnen's, up there in the middleweight rankings, and Vanderlei really isn't. But is Vanderlei next? What happens in that fight? I have Sonnen fucking actually subbing Vanderlei in the first round again. But yeah, what is next for Chael P, Ross?
What's next for Chael P? Listen, everyone wants to fight the American Gangster. Everybody wants a piece of the reflection of perfection. You've got Lyoto Machida calling him out. You got Phil Davis calling him out. You've got Rashad Evans who wants to fight him. You have Vitor. You have Vanderlei. Hell, even Little Nog probably wants to fight him, but he'll back out of that in 2 days, so it doesn't matter. What's next for him is Vanderlei Silva, end of the year, November, December, either one. He's not going to get to fight Vitor because Vitor is not going to come off the TRT unless he's going to fight for the belt. And Vitor is not going to fight for the belt ever because he's going to lose at some point, hopefully. So yeah, Chael Sonnen, Vanderlei Silva. I say UFC 168. I'd prefer that, probably 167. But I prefer 168. Do the triple header. Weidman Silva 2. Rousey Tate 2. Sonnen Silva.
Alan, you're back on the call. What do you think about Vanderlei versus Sonnen?
I think it's a great fight for Vegas. I think I posted earlier today that if anybody's unsure about how the Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva fight is going to play out, just rewatch UFC 136, and what Chael did to Brian Stan is exactly what will happen at UFC 168. I was told by the man himself that it's most likely going to be UFC 167 is when they're going to fight, but they don't always control that, so it could wind up being 168, which is what I would also prefer. I think that, since this fight absolutely has no meaning as far as like rankings or getting Chael another title shot, I think it's just a grudge match that, helps the pay-per-view buys and helps 168 go over 1 million buys. I think that, it's perfect for the Coco main event, and I think it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, Ramses, you have any thoughts on Vanderlei versus Chael, cocksucker?
Vanderlei doesn't stand a chance. Just the only reason Chael keeps calling him out because he finally got the translation from what went down in that van in Austin, Texas a few years ago. Look up the video. Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva in the van. I got the full translation up on my YouTube channel. Check it out, people. Chael's finally he realized what the man was actually saying to him. He's been pissed off ever since. You don't slap the Godfather in the face. You don't touch a made guy. Vanderlei's got it coming to him. He's trying to avoid retirement. He's trying to avoid Chael Sonnen. That's the goddamn word on the street.
This matchup favors Chael Sonnen in a lot of different ways. One way, I remember back when Chael was gonna fight, what is this man's name? Michael Bisping. He was saying how in a few interviews he's looking for some easy matches. He wants some easy fights. Vanderlei Silva's one of those guys. He's gonna get an easy match, an easy win, and after he beats Vanderlei Silva, I believe we'll see him fighting for the title.
For sure, and I believe, unless anybody has anything to throw in on UFC Fight Night 26, we will close the book on that. We'll put it up in the archive, and we will always remember it. We will cherish it until the end of time. Until then, let's get to the news. And really, first, quickly, I did want to talk about Ross and Al and your experiences at the UFC, but both of you kind of went into your stories, also shared some other stories on the word on the street. So I'll let that be some fire to make people click over the word on the street and listen to your stories from there. Also wanted to break down really quickly after the fight your top 5 middleweights. For me, it goes Anderson Silva. It goes Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, and Jacare. Who are your top 5 middleweights after all this goes down? Looks like Chael and Vitor are in the driver's seat to fight the winner of the rematch between Silva and Weidman.
I got the same as you, but I have Okami and Jacare switched. I have Okami on top of Jacare. Only because Okami's faced tougher opposition and been in there with more high-level guys. They meet in, a month or 2? And then we'll find out who is the best out of those 2 guys.
For sure. Ross, who are your top 5 middleweights?
Well, actually, those two, Okami and Jacare, meet just in about 2 weeks. So we're lucky to see that. In 2 weeks on the Brazil card, the Teixeira Bader card. For me, my top 5 middleweights go as follows. Chris Weidman is number 1, obviously. Anderson Silva is number 2. Vitor Belfort is number 3. Chael Sonnen is number 4. And Yushin Okami is number 5. It's pretty easy for me. I don't see it any other way. Chael is still one of the best middleweights in the world. He's one of the best light heavyweights in the world also right now, so he's ranked in both weight classes in my opinion. But he's not above Chris Weidman right now because Chris Weidman is obviously the number 1 guy. He's not above Anderson Silva because we all know what happened, and Anderson is still one of the best in the world, one of the best pound for pound in the world. And Vitor has just done more in the division lately, and he's just beaten more guys in the division, more top guys in the division lately, so you got to give it a Vitor, and then Chael is right in there at 4. And Okami, he's still one of the best in the world. The only losses are to Tim Boetsch and a fluke, Anderson Silva, and Chael Sonnen, and Rich Franklin, but that was years ago, so that doesn't count. So
I'm sorry, Ross. So hold on, guys. I have to interrupt here. The Jew has been going against everything I've been saying this whole program. It's my turn to hit back, all right? Here comes the counter. All right, look, listen to me. Chris Weidman has only won 2 rounds against Anderson Silva, the pound-for-pound number 1 ball champ. Chael Sonnen has won at least 5 rounds against Anderson Silva. Therefore, Chael Sonnen is better than Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman combined. He is the pound-for-pound number 1 ranked champion in the world. No one is denying this. That's all I have to say. That's the word on the street. The Aunt Jimmy Show.
I'd actually like to fire back and say Chris Weidman has only fought 2 rounds with Anderson Silva because they had to pull him off of him because he was beating the shit out of his unconscious body, and he had won both those rounds. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Anderson Silva took a dive.
Yes, he did.
God damn.
Straight up.
Yao, who are your top 5 middleweights? I do like the back and forth, but not if we're talking about whether or not Anderson Silva took a dive. Yao, who are your top 5?
My top 5 will go Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort. What is this guy's name? Wait, I'm sorry. Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen,
Shut the fuck up.
Michael Bisping, and Jacare.
Weidman.
No, Chris Weidman is not in my top 5.
Go fuck yourself.
All right, we will move on. We're actually going to move on to a little bit of stuff. I actually just saw it on Twitter. Ronda Rousey right now leaving to go to Bulgaria for the Expendables 3. Very simply, is this going to negatively affect her training? I think it is. I think going to Bulgaria to film a movie, I mean, it might not negatively affect her so much that she loses, but I think it's going to negatively affect her. Anyone else have any thoughts on this one?
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Ronda Rousey going to Bulgaria for a couple months to film Expendables 3.
Oh.
I don't know if it'll be a couple months, but it'll be at least a few weeks.
I think Ross was going to say something. I don't know. But yeah, the Expendables 3, Mel Gibson roided up. Did you see that shit? God bless him. That's it.
Yes, I did see that.
Can I get
Okay. I do think this is a bad move for Ronda Rousey. Not necessarily filming this movie, but filming 2 movies and trying to incorporate a training camp in the middle of those 2 movies. It's a bad idea. She doesn't have 100% focus on Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate has 100% focus on Ronda Rousey. And Miesha Tate is still a world-class competitor in the bantamweight division. She won 2 rounds against Kat Zingano before getting finished in a fight that you could argue was stopped early. So this is a risk for Ronda Rousey. I still think she wins, but this is a risk.
I'm saying I hope it does negatively affect her training camp and she loses to Miesha Tate in December.
Trolling hard, Alan.
Man, I'm kind of torn because I like both of these chicks, but yeah, I don't think there's any way that she can maintain focus on this fight and perform to her best if she's making movies in the midst of training camp. I mean, yeah, Chael, he does his TV show and all that stuff, but he's moved his training camp to a couple of blocks away from where he films his TV show. So I mean, it's totally different. She's going to be flying to Bulgaria, Eastern Europe, where she might have a training partner that she brings with her, but it's nowhere near the type of training that Chael's able to get, and I think it negatively affects her. She might end up losing. Miesha Tate might come out, and I mean, Miesha, she deserves to be in there. Her fight, she kind of got screwed because there was an illegal blow thrown, and the fight was stopped early, and she had won the 2 rounds before that. So it's going to be a good fight, but I think Ronda's focus being on other things is going to hurt her.
Word, and right now, I don't know if any of you other guys are, but I just watched Joe Lauzon get viciously knocked out by Anthony Pettis on Fox Sports 2. Man, that dude has taken some damage in his last year or so of fighting, couple years of fighting. We do have a few more topics, but we weren't able to bring it to you last week. We are able to bring it to you this week. It is Ross's segment. I don't know if the formal name is Bring the Jew to You yet or not, or what the name of it is. It's Ross's baby. I'll let him handle it. That's all you.
Damn right, it's all me. The best Jew in the business is back on the MMA podcast to break it all down for you. Now, last week we did not have an MMA podcast, sadly. So I didn't get to bring the Jew to you. I didn't get to give you the biggest bets, but I turned heel on you 2 weeks ago, so I don't like any of you anyway. But I will give you my bets, because I had some good bets. And fuck, I cleaned house this time around. First off, I had Sonnen wins by submission. I'll admit it right off the bat. I had it plus 575. I made a ton of money there. I had Chael Sonnen plus 150. I put 2 bets on Chael Sonnen because I believe in Chael Sonnen, and if I could, I would have put 50, but I gotta spread the wealth a little bit. Then I got 2 more. Conor McGregor minus 245. He should have been minus 500. This motherfucker was winning this fight one way or another. He had this in the bag. Irish pride. He was in Boston. No way he was losing this fight. And then we got Diego Brandao minus 178. Way too low. He should have been a much bigger favorite against Daniel Pineda, who I believe lost to Mike Brown. That says it all. So that's all I have for you there. But next week, I will give you some good picks. I will give you the best picks because we got 2 fight cards next week. We've got Condit Campman 2 on Fox Sports 1. We got Henderson Pettis 2 great rematches. They're going to deliver. And until then, I'm the sensation of the nation, the number 1 creation. I lift barbell plates. I eat T-bone steaks. I'm sweeter than a German chocolate cake. How much more of me can you take? Kaboom.
Yeah.
Kaboom. Yee. And a programming note, we aren't going to be doing a show on Wednesday next week because there's going to be a Wednesday fight card. But for the first time, we're going to try and do 2 shows. They'll both probably be abbreviated. We'll try and keep them both around an hour. But we're going to try and do one Monday and one Friday. We'll see how it ends up working out. Stay tuned for that. If we do try and change it from that, we'll talk about it on our Twitter. Just follow us, the MMA Podcast. But we'll do Monday and Friday so we can talk about Wednesday and Saturday's card. Because Wednesday, we got UFC Fight Night 27, Condit Campman 2 in Indianapolis. And then Saturday, we got UFC 164, Henderson versus Pettis in Milwaukee. A couple cards I had never really noticed until now that both of them were up in the Midwest. So if you're a UFC fan up in the Midwest, you're going to both cards. It's going to be a good week. Let's get on to it, though. The other another couple bits of news to talk about. Ben Askren. We all were thinking that Ben Askren was going to sit out the next year, wait for his Bellator contract to expire, and then go to the UFC. Bellator apparently is open to letting Askren go to the UFC. Bjorn Rebney said, yeah, we'll let him go. We'll see what the UFC offers him, and we'll let him go. That was what did it for me. The little line Bjorn said about, yeah, we'll see what the UFC offers him. Bellator is going to try and fuck Ben Askren like they fucked Eddie Alvarez, because that's what they do. That's what Bellator and Viacom does. They fuck fighters, and not in the good way. Not like Jenny Friedman. They do it in the bad way. I don't believe that Bellator is going to let Askren go. I hope they do, but they may not. I don't necessarily feel inclined to believe him. What do you guys think? Ross, I know you're always pretty adamant about Bellator. You think they're just going to make it easy as letting him go?
Yeah, no, they are lying through their teeth. There is no way they make this easy. Their game plan is they want to make it seem easy, and a lot of people don't remember it, but they did the same thing with Eddie Alvarez back in the early stages, before he fought Pitbull, actually, before he got his final Bellator fight, or at least what we thought would be his final Bellator fight. They did the same thing. They said, we're going to get rid of him. And they said the same thing about Hector Lombard, but the UFC still offered him this huge contract, and he turned out to be a dud. So obviously they're going to be tentative about doing that with Ben Askren. But hey, I think the best thing they could do is, and it may cause legal troubles, so it may not be the best thing to do, but if possible, offer Ben Askren a 1-fight deal, and after that 1 fight, he is free to negotiate with anyone he wants. He's an unrestricted free agent, no matching rights, because if Bellator matches that deal that they offer him, he fights one more time for Bellator, and then he can go wherever he wants, and there's no matching. So that's the smartest thing they could do, if it can be done, but they could get sued for negotiating in not in good faith. So
That's why we call him the best. That's why we call him the best Jew in the business. The man's always on his game. That's actually a genius thought. Any other cocksuckers got any thoughts on the current situation with Bjorn and Ben Askren?
Cocksuckers.
Fuck Ben Askren, man. I don't know anything about this guy, except all I've ever heard is that he stinks at fighting and he's boring. So I'll believe that hype. I got no opinion.
Alan? You still with us? Or are you fucking out of rest and perps?
No, I'm off work, man. I just was dealing with something. What are we on?
Talking about if you believe Bjorn Rebney when they say they're just going to let Ben Askren go to the UFC.
Fuck no. That dude's their fucking welterweight champion, and I know he's not exciting, but they're just going to let him go my ass. I mean, look what the fuck they did with Eddie Alvarez. They ass-fucked that man with a piece of fucking wood. And to not being able to go to the UFC stopped him from being able to fight. And you think they're just going to let fucking Ben Askren their most established champion go to the UFC? Fuck no. That the whole point of not letting Ben Askren go to the UFC would be, totally Bellator-esque, because the second that Askren goes to the UFC, there's tons of matchups that you can make with him. I mean, there's tons of guys that would be an exciting matchup to see, fighting Ben Askren, who's a great wrestler. He's leaps and bounds above any wrestler that's in Bellator. He's not above anybody. There's several guys in the UFC who would be able, I think, to match up really well with him, like Damian Maia. And so I do not think that Bellator lets him go to the UFC. I think somebody either gets murdered or somebody has to get paid off.
Damn, that's powerful stuff coming from Officer Allen. Let's stay in Bellator. Actually, a bit of news I missed and I just found out about today. Like I mentioned at the start that we didn't have a episode of the MMA Podcast last week. One of the reasons is because I was moving into a new place, and I guess when I didn't have internet, this bit of news snuck through. Eddie Alvarez, the guy we know for being fucked over by Bellator, it looks like instead of opting to sit on the shelf for 2 years and let the prime of his career go by, he just bit the bullet, re-signed with Bellator. I think he has 8 fights with him before he gets let go. And Eddie Alvarez will fight Michael Chandler next. Chandler, obviously, the only guy to beat him in recent memory, and Chandler currently the lightweight champion at Bellator. They will meet at November's Tito Rampage Bellator pay-per-view. Honestly, I am 1,000,000 times more excited about this fight than I am Tito versus Rampage. And it is a bittersweet feeling. Obviously, we wanted to see Alvarez in the UFC. We don't like Bellator because they fuck people over, but it's going to be nice to just see him fight because Bellator was going to literally have him on the rack for a couple years. So are you glad he got re-signed? Not glad, sort of, bittersweet like me. And finally, who you got in this fight? Eddie Alvarez or Michael Chandler? I think Eddie is one pissed off motherfucker. This is the one fight I would not want to be fighting Eddie Alvarez when he's finally back in the ring, ready to just vent off all this frustration. So I got Eddie Alvarez winning this one, and hopefully we see a rubber match because the first fight was goddamn incredible. What do you guys think about this fight? Eddie Alvarez, Michael Chandler.
I'll fucking start off, god damn it. Eddie Alvarez, man, he really ate some shit, man, but he's doing what he has to do to put fucking food on his family's table, alright? The fact that, honestly, the extra bonus of putting together the Tito versus Rampage shit on pay-per-view is that now you have a pay-per-view to fucking, offer to Eddie Alvarez as per the contract, the matching shit. I won't even get into it. But that was an extra bonus of putting together that fight in the pay-per-view. They can net Eddie Alvarez. He's run out of excuses. And honestly, people, we like to say he's being screwed, but he signed a fucking contract. At the end of the day, I don't really blame Bellator that much for holding him to it, alright? They let him go, what's next? You're running a business. You can't show weakness. That's my opinion anyway. As for the fight, I don't know. Eddie might actually be demoralized instead of, pissed off. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't really know too much about either fighter, so I don't really give a shit. Word on the street.
That is the word.
I'll jump in next. I think Michael Chandler is the best lightweight in the world. He just hasn't proven it yet because he's not in the UFC, and he will prove it one day. But it's going to be a while because he has signed a 8-fight contract with Bellator, which was a very stupid move, especially when you're so young and you just have so much potential, and you could go so far so early in your career too. And he's only got 12 fights, but he's undefeated. He's finishing guys. He's finishing top guys. He practically killed David Rickles the other weekend. So I want to see big things out of him, but I don't see big things in Bellator for him. He's going to beat everyone. I think he beats Eddie Alvarez, Eddie got screwed, but at the end of the day, the deal he has right now is not that bad. It could be worse. If he beats Michael Chandler, he has to fight one more time in Bellator against Michael Chandler in a third fight, an immediate rematch. And then after that fight, no matter what happens, he is an unrestricted free agent. If he loses to Michael Chandler, even if it's a split decision, close fight, most people think Eddie won, he's an unrestricted free agent right then and there, and he's free to go to the UFC. It would devalue his contract. His worth would go down. The UFC wouldn't offer him as big of a contract, but he'd still be in the UFC, and that's all that matters. He's going to end up in the UFC at some point. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, as far as the fight goes, I have to go with Eddie Alvarez because he is training with the Blackzilians down in Florida. But, Michael Chandler, he is probably the best lightweight outside of the UFC. I'm a big fan of his, and I think the second fight will be, if not better, equally as great as the first one.
I'm going to go out and disagree with Yao and say that Eddie Alvarez is going to get knocked out. He's been training with bums. I saw him this past weekend. He looked like a bum. He, it's not been
You mean
fighting.
like actual homeless people?
Yeah, he was on the streets of Boston, fucking, like old Shudo box style, fucking going at it with bums, man.
Yep.
He asked me for a 20, and I said no, and he actually threatened to leg kick me right there.
Shit.
But then he realized that we weren't scared because we were all bigger than he was anyway. But, he hadn't been fighting. He's been, working out with some guys at the Blackzilians, if you want to call it working out. It's more like, doing photo shoots. But, I don't think he's got anything for Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's on the top of his game. He's only going one direction, and that's up. So I think Eddie Alvarez has already hit his plateau, and he's done. He'll be in the UFC, and then he'll get knocked out 2 times, and that'll be it. So I can't wait. I'm probably going to buy the Bellator pay-per-view just so I can see another Blackzilian get massacred.
Damn.
All right. Last bit. Struve out indefinitely with a heart condition. He has an enlarged heart and like a leaking aortic valve or something. He is a really big guy at 7 feet tall, but the guy apparently is having heart issues, which is kind of sad because he definitely is one of my favorite fighters. He's a young guy. Do you think he ever challenges for the heavyweight belt? I think we will eventually see him in a title fight just because he's so young. As long as he can get over this heart issue. A lot of the current heavies are older dudes. I mean, think about it. Kane's in his 30s, Cormier's in his 30s, Verdum's in his 30s, Brown, Mir. Literally everybody's in their 30s except for Dos Santos, who's 28. And then all the way down, you got Struve, who's 25. So as long as he can keep it going, Roy Nelson's fucking pushing 40. Hunt basically is 40. Overeem's 33. So I think if Struve is able to get through it and stay the course, kind of like Michael McDonald, he's still going to be in the game by the time all these dudes are retired. And I know I don't really like to get that serious on the show, but I really, really do hope Struve is able to get over it. It's 2013. We got crazy shit going on with medicine. So definitely thoughts and prayers going out to Struve. What do you guys think about this current issue and whether or not he ever challenges for the belt?
I hope he's okay. I hope he recovers. I hope he gets back in the cage, and I hope he goes on and does big things, but I don't see it happening. I see this probably ending his career. He started very young, came into the sport at a very young age, and he's got a lot of miles now. He's only like 25 years old, but in fight years, I'm sure if you look him up on that Fight Matrix fight years thing, he's probably like 40, 50 years old at this point.
Look up who?
Stefan Struve.
Struve is 34.
34.
Yeah, his fight age is 34 currently.
Interesting.
Kane,
With
wow.
the amount of time.
Kane's the first person I've seen whose fight age is younger than his real age. His combat age is 30, and he's 31.
Wow. But Struve's been knocked out a lot. He's got a lot of miles. He's had his chin literally destroyed. He had his jaw shattered by Mark Hunt, literally cracked in half. So I don't know if he comes back from this. I really hope he does. I hope he gets well soon. Get well soon, Stefan Struve. Come back, be the skyscraper, win some fights.
He has, yeah. He has finished 96% of his wins. The guy finishes fights, so I'm really hoping the same.
Yeah, he's an entertaining, scrappy dude, and I hope to see him back.
Any of you other cocksuckers got thoughts on it?
Cocksuckers.
Yeah. I really hope that he has a good recovery, and he's able to come back. I do believe he'll come back. If GSP can come back from an ACL tear, I think Stefan Struve can come back from this.
Just want to say God bless him.
Coming
Got
from
a
the black
busted
GSP.
leaky pipe, but he's probably done.
Damn. Taking the pessimistic route. Alan?
Yeah, I hate to see anything like this happen to anybody. I mean, your fucking heart. I mean, if your heart stops, you die. So, I don't want to see Stefan Struve die. And, I hope he, recovers. But, no, I don't think he ever fights for the UFC heavyweight title. Unless every other guy in the division leaves and there's only 2 people to fight. And the other guy is a welterweight. I think that's the only way that Stefan Struve would ever win the UFC heavyweight title. But yeah, I don't want him to die, but I don't want him to fight for the title.
Yeah, we all hope the best for Struve. Hope that he does not die. Time for the 10 solid seconds of sports. This weekend is the last weekend without any football. Praise the fucking Lord. Other than that, not much has changed. Ichiro gets his 4,000th professional hit. A-Rod's still an asshole. Manziel's still an asshole. Hernandez still an asshole. I'm ready for some goddamn football. Woo!
Christ.
Alright, I'm done. Pierce and Palhares are going to face each other at UFC Fight Night 29 in an interesting match of welterweights. Palhares moving down to face Mike Pierce. I think a lot of people are going to pick Husimar in this one, but you can't forget Mike Pierce is the most underrated guy in the UFC. He's got like 2 losses in the last 30 years, and those were split decisions to Koss and Hendricks that could have gone either way. Pierce is a goddamn animal, and I got him winning a very, very one-sided 30-26 unanimous decision. What do the rest of you guys think?
Shit. Yeah, all I got to say about Mikey Pierce, well, there's... shit. I got to phrase my words carefully here, choose them. Look, there's a reason that you can't account for Mike Pierce's whereabouts on the night that Osama bin Laden was killed. That's all I'm going to say. Husimar Palhares, he's done. This is it. They're finally giving Mike Pierce his chance to shine. He will be ranked in the top 5 after this fight, is my prediction. He will win in devastating fashion. I believed in this man since day one. God damn it, people. That is the word on the street. Hopefully he'll be it'll be even or a slight underdog for Mike Pierce. I'm hoping to make some money off this fucking fight. That's it,
Powerful.
Man. Mike Pierce all the way.
I'll go next. Mike Pierce, his only real loss is to John Fitch. Let's be honest. His loss to Johnny Hendricks and Josh Koscheck, both split decisions. He deserved the W in those 2 fights. I think he's going to beat Husimar, however you say it. Palhares doesn't have a heart. Every time he gets into trouble, he fucking taps out or, turtles up like a little, coward.
Turtle. Like a little turtle.
He does the Brazilian and cowards out. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think Mikey Pierce is going to wear his ass down and finish him. I don't even think Palhares makes weight, so I think Mikey's going to make a knockout or a submission of the night bonus. plus he's going to get 20% of Palhares' purse.
Damn.
I'll just jump in. I didn't even know Mike Pierce was still in the UFC until he fought in the Facebook prelims where he belongs on that card a couple weeks ago. Hopefully this fight is a prelim fight. He's a bum. And with that said, I think Toquinho would finish him with a leg lock or any type of submission.
Toquinho.
Where's the Joey Diaz drops? What the fuck? What? Are you out of your goddamn mind now? Mikey, what? I don't believe what I'm hearing, this betrayal.
Yeah, I don't see how Paul Harris... I mean, Paul Harris has a great grappling game. He's a Abu Dhabi champion, but Mike Pierce is an elite welterweight. Paul Harris is not even an elite middleweight. I don't see him being elite at 170. I see him getting finished in the first round of this fight. I see him getting TKO'd, knocked out, either one. He's going to get finished with strikes. It's pretty predictable to me, a Paul Harris fight. If he doesn't get that knee bar or that heel hook, he's not gonna win. He's gonna get finished with strikes, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Although
sometimes you hide your weed.
This fight is in Brazil, so not saying anything, but yeah.
You can't be talking with pauses and not expect me to throw in a Joey Diaz drop,
Sometimes
cocksucker.
you hide your weed and you don't know where you put it, but you get high and you'll find it.
That's right. All right, let's move on. Speaking of weed, Robbie Lawler seems like somebody I could roll one up with. Rory McDonald seems like somebody who he could probably use a joint or two, and they're going to be fighting each other at UFC 167 in November. In this fight, I do like Robbie Lawler a lot, but I think Rory is going to be too much for him to handle. Rory is just, he's. I mean, I am going to be rooting for Lawler hard, but looking at it with an unbiased eye, I've got to give a big edge to Rory McDonald.
What the fuck, dog?
I got nothing to say about Rory. I think he was like what was it? I did reduce him to bum status. He's shit. He's pure shit now. I look at him and I see and smell shit. And that's all I have to say about Rory McDonald. Thank you.
I'll go next. I completely agree with Ramses here. For the first time tonight, I completely agree. Actually, we've agreed a couple times, but definitely right now I agree with him. Rory McDonald is pure shit. And on November 17th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena or the Mandalay Bay, wherever that 20th anniversary show is, he will be knocked out cold by ruthless Robbie Lawler, who will then proceed to get a number one contenders fight or a title shot against the winner of GSP versus Johnny Hendricks.
I gotta disagree, actually. I think Robbie Lawler has a very good shot at beating Rory McDonald, but I think Rory's at a point where he understands how to win. And when you get better at winning, things like this happen where you're able to shut a guy down. And although Robbie Lawler is new and improved, I think he will shut Robbie Lawler down and leave the octagon with his hand raised.
I'm going to have to go out and say that Rory, Fancy Boy McDonald, is going to get knocked the fuck out. I think that Robbie Lawler's got too much for him. I think that Rory's, started playing it safe too much, being a fucking fancy boy, hanging out with Mike Ricci, doing the old fucking, meat stick game. And I think that Robbie Lawler's just going to go in there and fucking gang rape his ass.
Meat stick.
You said that in Boston. It was just as funny then as it is now.
Give him the fucking meat stick. Jesus Christ. Speaking about people getting the meat stick, Tim Kennedy, Dana White obviously not happy with Tim Kennedy over those statements on Fighter Pay. The mismatch of a lifetime. I mean, Like when, yeah, this entire fight, I don't know why it's being made. Machida is leaps and bounds over Kennedy. Kennedy just beat a bum and Roger Gomez. They're going to fight at UFC for the Fight for the Troops 3 in November at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, which I do like seeing those, I guess. Those poor sons of bitches. They deserve something. But as far as the fight goes, I have no idea why it was made. I don't know what Dana White was thinking, other than I want to give Tim Kennedy a loss, because Tim Kennedy has no chance. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
What the fuck?
Well, I'll just start off. I'm sorry. And I would take a full minute to actually just bash this fight because it's bullshit. But instead, I'm hoping we can at least save me the trouble, 30 seconds of just Joey Diaz drops instead of me bashing this shit fight. This fight doesn't make any sense. It's going to be the worst fucking headlining fight you've ever seen since Machida's last fight, since Hendo Rashad. Joey Diaz has more to say about this. I hope I'll just cede the rest of my time to him. Thank you.
I just put 2 fingers in there, I searched around her asshole.
Ross?
Yeah, I think this is a good fight. I think it's a fair fight. Machida is coming off a loss, and Tim Kennedy stepped up, and that's all that matters. Vitor didn't even step up. Tim Kennedy stepped up. He said, I will fight Lyoto Machida, and props to him. He'll fight anybody. He's going to have a little bit of an advantage because he's going to be fighting in front of the troops, so they're going to rally behind him, definitely. It's in America. It's not in Brazil. That's perfect for him. But I do think Machida is a better fighter all around. He's not going to be able to take Machida down. He can't outstrike Machida. He can't outgrapple Machida. I see Machida winning by knockout.
Yeah, there are a lot of glaring holes in Tim Kennedy's game that I think Lyoto can take advantage of.
Glaring.
Yes, I only said that for the drop. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
After watching Tim Kennedy's last 2 fights, I watched the Strikeforce fight with him and Luke Rockhold, and then also watched his fight against Roger Gomez. Tim Kennedy does not belong in the middleweight division. He is another Vinny Magalhaes. He needs to lose some muscle mass and compete at his natural weight class, which would be 170. He's way too big and slow. He will not be able to keep up. Machida's going to knock him out, or it's just going to be a snooze fest, and they're going to dance around the ring, some like Brazilian fucking war dance or something. I don't know. But it's going to be a snooze fest. I don't know what the fuck Dana White was thinking. Obviously, this is not how you reward a guy for making those type of comments. I understand he wants him to get fucking knocked out. The only thing that I can think of is that maybe Dana White is hoping that Machida fucking kills Tim Kennedy, and Tim Kennedy's like the sacrificial lamb, and then all the soldiers that are in attendance turn around and fucking kill Machida, and you take out two birds with one fucking stone. That's the only thing that I can think of why they made this fucking fight, because it makes no goddamn sense.
Realistically,
that's my 2 cents.
Realistically, I could see that happening. Yao, when you hear the sound of me incinerating cannabis, I want you to tell me what you think about Lyoto Machida fighting Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either, but I think there is like a master plan behind it, like a lot of you guys said. Tim Kennedy's last fight against Roger Gracie was okay. I mean, it was just alright, and I don't know why he gets to fight Machida, but he does. So I'm just gonna wait, see what happens. That there has to be some type of plan behind it, because you don't just make this fight for nothing.
You gotta break out the yay weed when I come up here, dog.
That's right. Last topic. This has been a pretty long podcast. I appreciate both the listener for tuning his or her sweet ears to the podcast, and of course, you on the call. Ramses, Yao, Ross, Alan, you're all beautiful cock
Suckers.
Anyway, let's get to Hendo versus Belfort, the last topic of the night, made for the November Brazil card, which I guess is going to be UFC Fight Night 32 in Goiânia, Brazil. I guess that's the first time they're going there because I've never heard of that city in my life. And yeah, it's going to be headlined by Dan Henderson and Vitor Belfort. Who you got? And also, I want to get your take at the post-fight scrum. I thought it was really interesting. Dana White saying, "We're not hiding Vitor in Brazil. That's not it." Yes, you are. You're only letting, he only could fight in Brazil because he's TRT'd up like a monkey. And no, and he's saying, well, if I get a title fight and I gotta fight in Vegas, I'll come off the TRT. Vitor is not coming off the TRT, ladies and gentlemen. Did Barry Bonds come off the steroids? Did Mark McGuire come off the steroids? Did Roger Clemens come off the steroids? He's roided up to the gills. If he steps in a title fight without TRT, he's going to look like he's 78 years old. He's going to be all shriveled up. He's not going to have any muscle. Shit, he'll probably weigh in at 130 pounds for the fight. He's going to be a shell of a man. He's going to be on TRT. And I don't think he's going to fight outside of Brazil the rest of his career, to be brutally honest, because we know Keith Kaiser is not going to let him fight in Vegas. And if Nevada won't license him, nobody will. So Dana White with the comments, "Oh, this is stupid. All those reporters saying we're hiding Vitor. How stupid is that? We're not hiding Vitor." Yeah, it's just a coincidence all his fights are going to be in Brazil, Dana. Shut the fuck up. There's the drop.
Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, Hendo, Belfort. As far as the fight goes, I guess this rules out a Sonnen Belfort fight, which is a little sad. I really wanted to see Sonnen take on Vitor instead of Vanderlei, because that does a lot more for his career. But Hendo versus Belfort, like I said last night, Chael and Hendo were beefing a little while ago. Hendo, he feels bad. He really wants to make amends, wants to do a solid for his buddy Chael. So he's going to take out this bum Vitor who trains with a bum camp, the Black Zillions, and he's going to wipe him out. Second round knockout with the right hand. Going to knock him out cold. And that's my call for the match. Who's leading off?
I'm leading off. I'll start by saying this. When they fight, Vitor is going to finish Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson is too slow. He doesn't move his head, and he has bad footwork. That all translates perfectly into what Vitor is going to do to him. Vitor is going to use his movement, his cardio, his kicks, his punches, his knees, his speed. Vitor, if people say, oh, you could just, get Vitor into the later rounds and he'll fade. He has Pedro Diaz in his camp, okay, people? Do you know what that means? That means he's not getting tired, all right? He's going to finish Dan Henderson in his home country of Brazil, whatever it is. I don't even know what Brazil is. He's going to finish him in his hometown, leave with the victory, and then they'll find somebody else to try and beat him.
Yeah, I'll jump in next and say that in Brazil, Vitor Belfort is virtually, to steal from Mike Goldberg, virtually unbeatable. Because while he's on the TRT, while he's on this special substance that only Vitor Belfort has found, he one day, he was sitting in his kitchen, he had all these different chemicals, and he just started mixing them and drinking them and hoping for the best. And he finally found the best substance he could find, and now he's Superman. So until they're able to discover what he's on and find the ingredients for it, he won't test positive for it. But he won't get licensed in America because of it. So fighting Dan Henderson in Brazil, it's a lose-lose situation for him, because if he beats Dan Henderson, he beats someone at 205 who's coming off of 2 straight losses, so it does nothing for him at 185. And the UFC can still deny him a title shot, even though he's won 3 in a row. It would be after that, and a ton of fights before that, before the Jones loss. And if he loses, it's over. You lost to Dan Henderson, who's coming off of 2 straight losses. We don't have to worry about you anymore. So it's a lose-lose situation for Vitor. Normally, I think Dan Henderson wins this fight. I think Dan Henderson in America wins this fight. But because Vitor is in Brazil and Vitor has access to the TRT, he has access to his special chemicals, the Vitoroids, I don't see him losing this fight, and I do see him finishing Dan Henderson, and it's gonna suck, but it's gonna happen.
I guess I'll go. Look, people, Chael Sonnen has never been knocked out. He's never been defeated as of this point. The fact that, look, you guys saw what happened, man. He choked out. Shogun was dead for a few seconds, all right? The only thing he saw the other side. He saw the light shining, someone beckoning him to the gates of heaven, and it was Chael wearing a robe. Do you understand? There is no doubting him anymore. There's no doubting Kelvin after this next fight. It's going down. Tune in, people. That's all I have to say about whatever the topic was. That's the word on the street.
Fucking finishing up, clean up duty. We got Alan, who was there at the fights. Watch Sonnen choke out the man Showbum. Alan, what do you think about Hendo versus the bum Vitor? And that'll be a part of the show that I clip out because it was all silent. Alan, you there? Officer Allen. Oh man, we were gonna finish strong. We were gonna finish on top. Oh,
he's probably
God
crying
damn
after
it.
what I said about Chael, man.
Alan, you there?
Greatest victory of his life.
All right, I guess Alan is not there, which means it must be time to wrap up the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, if you want to visit us on Twitter, it's at the MMA Podcast or the MMApodcast.com. We're 56 episodes in, and we've gotten so much positive feedback. We can't wait for the next 56 episodes, because really, that's all it fucking is. Just me and a bunch of buddies. We're bullshitting, talking MMA. If you want to call in and be a part of the conversation, not be a twat and interrupt people, you are welcome. We are doing next week, Monday and Friday. That's going to be August 26th and 30th. So follow us on Twitter, and that afternoon we'll post what time we're going live. It'll probably be midnight Eastern, but we'll fucking see what happens. I'll pass it around. Ross, where the fuck do we find you? He's the best goddamn Jew in the business.
Where can you find me? Well, I have a question for you. Is it getting hot in here? Because I'm bringing the heat right now. I'm telling you right now, I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. There's nobody as beautiful or as powerful as me. I'm the women's pet, the men's regret. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. I'm the man of the hour, the man with the power. Too sweet to be sour. You better hit the showers. That's all I gotta say. Follow me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein. E before the L. Kaboom.
Yeah.
Cocksuckers.
Ramses.
You just gotta follow me on the Twitter, the Aunt Jimmy Show. All right, these kids, man. I'm just doing it for these kids now. I can't even have children of my own because of my own, sociopathic tendencies and hatred of women. But I love the kids. And just follow me on Twitter. If not, bad things are going to happen to everybody. Word on the street.
Best for last, the gold medalist. Yeah, the truth. Where do we find you?
Yeah, you could follow me on Twitter at Yao_the truth. Look out for my matches from my most recent tournament. And thanks to the MMA Podcast.
Thank you, Yao. It's fucking my pleasure having you and the rest of you cocksuckers on the fucking show, on the call. We're looking forward to next Monday. It was a hell of a card this past weekend, and if these next two cards can live up to that, we're in for some magic cards on the 28th, 31st, and 4th of September. So lots of fights coming up. Thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, the MMA Podcast, Twitter, TheMMAPodcast.com. Check out MMAmental.com. Check out The Word on the Street. Check out The Final Round and my boy Ross's Twitter. And until next Monday, I guess we'll talk to you later. We gone.
Relax, old school lyrical lesson. And I'm working the angles only sharp and precise, man. Back in the day when I was learning to rock in this mic, paying homage to the classic shit. Dilated, undisputed heavyweights repping Los Angeles. And yeah, I do this for the 213. Historical flip down, you know I'm with that G. So fire in the hole, slick with the flow.